Well, I already had popularity prior. Explain that.
So in a way, you
Well,
owe
answer
him.
the question. I already had
In a
popularity.
way, in a way, you should be glad he exists.
No, no. I already had popularity prior to Trump.
So you're not glad that he exists, so you can have this platform.
Oh, I would prefer that his existence would not be in politics.
You wouldn't have the platform without him.
I would absolutely still have a platform without him.
Not like this.
Yes, I would.
I don't agree, man.
Okay, I don't
Agree.
care.
I don't agree. You're successful. You're successful, and I appreciate that. I
I
can
like
learn
how
that.
you're crashing out because you're jealous of my success. That's what it is.
I'm not jealous. I'm
You
just
clearly are.
saying. I'm just saying you should be
You
grateful to the
have
person that you're hating on.
PDS. You have PDS,
No,
dude. It's unbelievable.
you should be grateful to the person you're hating on because he created you.
Hey, dude, it's just unbelievable. You have PDS, bro. Parker derangement syndrome, bro.
It's just unbelievable that you can't appreciate that he created your platform.
He
He's a
didn't.
job creator.
He didn't. I did that.
He's
I
a
did
job
that. He
creator.
didn't do that. What are you talking
He
about, bro?
created your job, bro. He's
No,
a
he
job
didn't.
creator.
Okay, so then explain to me why I had a job prior to talking about him.
What did you talk about?
I talked about prove to me God exists. I talked about to people specifically who think that
Please
being
send me
gay
one
is
of those
immoral.
earlier videos.
I talk to
Please,
people who think that the vaccines aren't effective, right, and masks aren't effective. That's literally what was my entire platform, and I had thousands of viewers every single day talking about that. I talked about abortion. I got
that was
thousands of
during
viewers every
Trump.
single day talking about that.
That
I
was
already
during
had a
Trump.
platform prior to this point. You have PDS, Parker derangement syndrome, bro.
No, I actually
You
appreciate you, man. I
well
watched you all the
then
time.
why can't you acknowledge any of these points? Think of the galaxy. I created my platform. It has nothing to do with Trump. Now, have I gained
You know
more
what? I
popularity
gotta
since
say,
I've talked
Parker.
about politics? Yes, that's absolutely true. But to say that
I,
my popularity in of itself, that I wouldn't have a platform without Trump is ridiculous because I already had it prior to that point.
Come on, man. I disagree with you about just about everything, but I am a fan, and I'll say that because I agree listening to people. I enjoy listening to people I disagree with. But here's the thing: just admit that your success is largely in part to Trump, and he's a job creator.
Nope.
Yours personally, he created.
Admit that I created my own platform and it wasn't Trump.
I believe you're the one that got up there every day and did it. Yes, and,
Okay,
and, and,
boom. Concession.
and it
Thank
was
you.
your debate, and it was your debating skills that built your platform. And the people that like you like to listen to you, and the people that hate you like to listen to you too. And you did that, yes. But the subject is all Trump, and that's what
So now
catapulted
I talk about politics. It's not all Trump. It's okay. So that's what a lot of people misunderstand. That's the core fundamental basis of the conversation is I'm talking to people who are Trump supporters. But the conversations don't just go Trump, 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 Trump. The conversations go into plenty of different ideological positions as to why they support Trump. So it's a lot more than just me saying Trump, 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 Trump the whole stream. You know, there's a lot more context and content to it.
I mean, would
Okay.
you admit that?
Such
Would you
as
admit
the content that you're pivoting from by doing this. So can you tell me specifically why you think that there was why the election was rigged in 2020, but it wasn't rigged in 2024?
why? Why? You know, actually, because I'll tell you why it eased off a little bit. Yes, I think Harris was just so unpopular she couldn't win.
Wait,
You
but
know what
like
I'm saying?
that doesn't matter because it's rigged, right?
You
If
know,
it's
like y'all
rigged,
could have put anybody up there. Y'all could have put anybody up there with everything that went against Trump. His
sir, it's
conviction,
rigged. Sir,
his
it's rigged. It doesn't matter how
reputation.
popular the person is. It's rigged, right?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't rigged. Y'all just
Oh,
didn't
okay,
have
it
enough
wasn't rigged.
numbers. Y'all really should have won.
So do you
Y'all
agree
really
in
should have won.
2020 that it wasn't rigged?
I didn't say it was rigged at the polls. I said it was rigged in public opinion.
Yeah, but that's not what rigged means, okay? When you say rigged by public opinion, you mean people use their First Amendment right to disagree with Trump and
No,
vote
I
against
mean,
him? Like
no, I
what?
mean I mean big and powerful people that controlled the media was controlling the narrative, and the people that were controlling big
Wait,
tech
so you have an issue with
was
people using their money to influence the media like Elon Musk with Twitter?
I have issues with all of it. Yeah.
You have an issue with that? You know that he was the one that did tens of millions of impressions like every single day? You know that Republicans put a lot more into using the media as an apparatus to get elected than the Democrats have?
You know, uh, Elon freed uh, Twitter before Elon, conservatives couldn't get a voice anywhere.
You mean
It was
people who are denying the results of a free and fair election and people who are
no,
denying
I'm
the
talking about
effectiveness
people
of
being banned.
vaccinations
I'm
that are
talking about
clearly
regular.
deemed to be
I'm talking
effective?
about reasonable people being banned for
For
life
what?
for positive content on Trump.
I don't believe. I think that's. I think that your whole point there is not like that's a narrative pushed down by the government. The government wasn't doing that. You're saying you disagree with
Give,
how Twitter was existing as a private
give,
company?
give me 30 seconds to explain why I believe the election was rigged in 2020.
Okay,
And I'm
I'll give you
right
30
now.
seconds.
Okay. So big tech, the media, was all controlled by powerful people that want to suppress the conservative vote. So they control the narrative. They control the narrative. So because they control the narrative, they control this reputation. They control anything positive was spin, and even you do that, Parker. You spin positive things as well. And if you're being honest,
Look at Parker rigging the election, actually. Look at him. He's rigging the election,
you're
actually.
part
It's
of the machine.
ridiculous what Parker's
You're
doing
part of
with
the
his live
machine.
stream.
You're part of the machine. Yes, you're a component of that machine that was changing the narrative
So you think I'm rigging the election?
in a small way. Yeah, you're rigging the midterms
Come
in a small way.
on. That sounds ridiculous. So are
Every
you
time, every
so
time,
let me ask you this
every time
question.
you call Trump,
Let me ask you
every
this
time,
question.
every time you call Trump a
Are you
racist,
rigging the
every time
election
you
right
call Trump,
now by
every time you
disagreeing with
call
me on the stream?
every time you call Trump a rapist, every
He
time you
is.
call him something
That he
that's
is?
where's his charge?
He has been determined by a civil court unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury that he was liable of sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, which means he forcibly penetrated her against her will. That is rape.
So you mean to tell me that Eugene Carroll
E.
was
Jean.
raped? Let's say she was raped in a dressing room in Manhattan by the most popular person in the world,
He was not the
and
most popular person in the
and
world.
no one remembers that day that they were there.
She does, and also like you understand that there weren't
Where's
people
the
that
employees
were
that were there
witnesses
that day?
there because the people specifically who are working there acknowledged that there wasn't anyone that would be on that floor at that particular time period, and that it's very common that that would be the case. So what you're not understanding is that this was an extremely luxury store. It didn't have many people that would go into it. Plenty of luxury stores don't have a lot of people that go into it, but they rely upon one or a few people coming in that inevitably will buy stuff that are rich, right? So in that
Nobody
area, if there's
remembers
not
her.
going to be a lot of people in that area, right, specifically in that business. So obviously that's going to be the explanation for that. There were multiple people that she told decades ago. If it was the case that she was trying to undermine Donald Trump's presidency, explain to me why she told people that she was assaulted by Trump decades ago.
Why didn't she do something about it then?
Answer the question. I can tell you because victims don't think that they're going to be believed because of people like you not believing them, even when they hold their
So let's
abusers
just wait
accountable
until
in a civil
let's
court
just
for
wait.
literally sexual
Let's just
abuse.
wait. Okay, let's just wait until he's in the most powerful position in the world, and it's more
Yes, yes, you
financially
understand that for
lucrative.
plenty of victims, right? When they see that that's actually going to happen, that that's not just something a figment of their imagination, but something that is going to happen, it does cause them to be like, oh, I don't want the person who did this to me to be able to be in a position like this. You understand that there's a difference. Yes, absolutely, that's something that a victim is going to consider and a survivor is going to consider in that circumstance. And for many survivors, they do come out in those circumstances. And because they come out in that circumstance, that doesn't mean that their story is inaccurate. That doesn't mean that their story is fraudulent. And also, not just E.J. and Carroll, the 27 plus women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. The fact that Donald Trump has bragged about grabbing women by the vagina without asking. The fact that Donald Trump has bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent. All of this speaks to a pattern of behavior that Donald Trump has, that he continues to engage in this particular behavior over and over and over again, and yet you still can't identify that it's true.
Would you agree that financially she couldn't have come out at a better time for herself?
Well, if it was for financial reasons, she would have come out 20 years ago because if it didn't happen, it was for financial reasons. There would be no legitimate good reason to have waited 20 years. But it does make sense that she waited 20 plus years because of the fact that there was trauma associated with the event and because of the culture that we exist in that perpetuates grape culture, enough to literally vote for someone who was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, by the way. So let's just clarify that real quick.
And why she accepted the money?
There's no explanation that you can actually provide for why she waited if she was just trying to make money out of it. It literally makes no sense.
I respect it more if she didn't make any money.
Wait, no, but you're not making any sense. If she was trying to make money, she would have done it back then.
If she didn't take $1, I would believe her.
That just makes no sense. Okay, so then for the 27 plus people that accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct, do you believe all of them because they didn't get money for it?
She should donate. She should donate the money.
Wait, pause. Do you believe all the other women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct and didn't get any money from it?
I don't believe it because
Exactly. You dishonest fuck. What are you talking about? That's so dishonest of you. Don't sit up here and say, oh, I would have believed E. Jean Carroll if she didn't take money from it, but then all the other women that were assaulted by Trump, you don't believe them even though they didn't take money from Donald Trump. So your whole point there is fucking bullshit because you wouldn't have believed her either way.
Who else took money from him because of allegations like that?
Well, no one else got money.
And then what happened to those cases?
Some of them actually were involved in the case to get the liability right for Trump in terms of the E. Jean Carroll case. You know that, right? They testified in that case to the things that happened to them.
I just believe if there was something there, he would have faced the criminal charges.
Okay, well, the reason why there wasn't criminal charges is because of something called statute of limitations, which means after a certain amount of years, regardless of the amount of evidence that you have, you cannot try your abuser for that particular crime. And it's different depending on the crime. It's different depending on the state that you're in, right? And specifically for the context of New York, for sexual abuse cases, it was 5 years, right, for criminal.
If there's so many people that did this, how come one of them doesn't fall under statute of limitations?
Right, so this is all situation. You have to understand. You have to understand when someone's in a position of power, right, and especially with the society that we live in, right. Many victims feel like they are the only one, and they feel like there's no one else. They don't have a support system specifically, right, and that's what causes them to not have the conditions relevant to being able to come out. And that's why when someone does come out and people do see that they're not alone, they feel the capacity to come out to a greater extent as well because they're not in it alone. So I just want to clarify, all of these things can be explained. All of these things can be explained very easily, but you are not actually concerned with what the explanation is there. You're just concerned about looking for what sort of explanation that you can provide to sort of like diminish the stories of all of these women.
How many women are there, Parker?
27 plus women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct, including a child who was credibly accused Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her in the Epstein files.
When did these accusations started?
What's up?
The past decade? When did these accusations start? The last decade? The last 20 years?
The last few decades. They go back to like the 90s.
So you're saying 27 different accusations can't warrant a criminal indictment?
You understand that that's the law that exists right now that you're disagreeing with, that's protecting abusers, the law in which you're literally perpetuating right now, that you're mad at, and not actually me in this scenario. Dude, of course I would love for him to be criminally charged for this. But yeah, there wasn't a criminal charge.
You're telling me not one of them falls in a category where they could charge them?
Yes, seemingly. Or were wanting to go through the context of a criminal case. Right? You have to understand that it's incredibly traumatizing for a victim to go through this, especially in such a public manner as well. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of building yourself up after the trauma, right? It takes a lot of people around you to help support you in order to be able to do that in the first place.
I'm just looking for one that doesn't have any of those excuses, and there's so many.
I understand, but there are plenty of scenarios where you can bring that, but you're just looking for things so that you can dispute it, rather than actually trying to see whether or not you determine it to be true. What can you tell me a piece of evidence that you would accept to indicate that this did happen?
If he was indicted criminally, that would help.
Oh, just indicted criminally.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I appreciate the galaxy. A civil court determination is more than the standard. The preponderance of evidence is more of a standard than the probable cause necessary to indict someone. You know that, right?
I would agree with that, but it's still not a criminal an indictment. You know, and you know,
but you understand that it meets that standard. It's just the reason why it wasn't criminal is because of the statute of limitations.
Is there a statute of limitation on rape? I don't
Yes,
think
for New York there is.
I didn't know that.
I explained that to you earlier.
It shouldn't. There shouldn't be.
I agree that there definitely shouldn't be. And this wouldn't be an argument we'd even have to talk about right now if it was the case that that was true and we actually had laws that didn't, protect abusers. But we do have laws on the books that protect abusers and protect predators. These are some of those laws, right? And they protect people like Trump from accountability because then you'll sit there and defend him just because it wasn't a criminal case and it was a civil case. Now, let me ask you this question. If you don't accept civil cases, do you not accept the 40% of undocumented immigrants that are in the country undocumented that have overstayed their visa, that are just violating civil law and not criminal law to actually be in the country undocumented?
So you're asking me people that were allowed to be here and they're no longer allowed to be here no more, but you want me to be okay with them being here?
Wait, but you can't determine it's true that they actually violated the law in any meaningful way if the basis of that is a civil court, right?
Who revoked their visas?
40% of people who are in the country undocumented are people that have come into the country lawfully, right, through the context of a visa and overstayed their visa, right? So like so if you understand that context to be,
but they need to step up. They need to step up and handle the. They need to go through the procedures that.
I understand that you think that, but what you're not understanding is that you can't determine that they've actually done that in the very first place in any meaningful circumstance. Why? Because it was determined in a civil court, and you don't accept the determinations from civil courts. So you either have to acknowledge that you do accept the determinations, generally speaking, from civil courts, and you have to describe to me the actual reason as to why you don't accept it in terms of the E. Jean Carroll case, or you say that you don't accept it, and you don't accept it against any of these 40% of undocumented immigrants in the country, and they're just allowed to stay because you can't determine that they're in the country undocumented because the only basis of doing so is a civil court.
Okay, how about I just make it easy for you? I heard the civil court case, and I don't believe it. I don't believe.
Yeah, why
I don't
not?
believe the civil case. I told you I don't believe it because it's just okay. Timing, timing is couldn't be better for her. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking about from an aspect of how she could benefit,
The timing
and
makes
then,
more sense for it to be like a scenario that actually occurred rather than if it were a fake scenario where she's making it up to try and make money. Because if it was fake to try to make money, you understand that she would have done so 20 years ago when she told her
she
friends,
made more.
not
She made
now.
more now. She made more now.
Yeah, but like there's no determination that she would have been able to make that she would have known that that would have been true. And also there's no precedence that you would say that that would be the case in the first place. So there's no
I'm just
probabilistic
listening.
narrative that you'd be able to make to say that like, oh, this is probable given the circumstances that people wait decades specifically to go after individuals that have assaulted them to try to make quote unquote more money off them. That literally makes no sense to me at all.
One reason I don't believe the civil case. And another reason I don't believe it.
I can't really hear you. You're mumbling.
I'm sorry, I'm moving around. I apologize.
You're good.
Another reason why I don't believe the civil case is because, like I said, it's a major department store, and he's a pretty famous guy. Somebody would have remembered him there that day.
It's still really
No,
hard to hear you. If you can go closer to your mic. So you said people would have noticed him because he's a famous person. His tower, Trump Tower, is right across the street. So he was there all the time. It's not like it's out of the ordinary for him to be in this area.
but they would have known that he was there. Somebody that's worked there that day.
Yeah,
Somebody that was.
you know that people who work there testified in front of the jury and literally said, "Oh yeah, it's actually very likely that we wouldn't have known specifically because there weren't always employees on every single floor, right?"
So let me ask you something. If you can't confirm that he was there, how
Wait,
can
wait,
you
wait. So how would we confirm that he was there? Well, there was actually a dress that she had with DNA on it that had unidentified male DNA, and Trump had multiple years to give up his DNA, but he chose not to. This would have 100% proven that he was at the scene of the crime, right? If he would have given up his DNA to test it against him. But you want to know why it does still serve as evidence, right? That he specifically was there? Because if he was innocent and he never met her like he claimed he was, there's no way that the DNA would have been his because you have to be in close proximity with someone for a long time for it to come up in terms of that DNA. Like only a few of her friends showed up on that dress, right? It's not like
well,
every
who can
person she was
place
in
him there?
contact with shows up on that dress. It's only people within close proximity that would have been able to show up on the dress in the first place. So at least in
Who
that
can place him there? Who can
what's up?
place him there? I'm just giving you the reasons why I don't believe it. They can't place him there, and
You're
regardless of
not,
why,
wait, or did you listen to anything I just said?
I did.
Okay, what did I just say?
You said that the DNA that he refused to give a DNA sample, and the DNA that was on the dress would, in fact, you know, prove beyond a shadow of doubt. Basically, is what you're saying. You said the DNA would have proved it, but he didn't do it.
Let me show you why, because you didn't hear the why. You didn't listen to the why. Okay, why is the DNA, him not showing his DNA, going to be evidence of the fact that he's likely guilty? Because if he wasn't guilty, right, and he was completely innocent, and he never met her in the first place, there's no way his DNA is on that dress. So he'd give his DNA up to prove his innocence, to prove he wasn't the scene of the crime, to exonerate himself, to benefit his reputation while he's trying to run for president of the United States, and to save himself from losing tens of millions of dollars. So obviously, in this circumstance, that's what he would do if he was innocent. But if he's guilty, what would you expect him to do? You'd expect him to not give his DNA up in that circumstance and deny, deny, deny. Well, what happened? That. So what is the expectation for this this happening within reality? The expectation is that he's actually guilty, not that he's innocent.
Well, I mean, that's how you perceive it, but I perceive it as maybe, there's lots of reasons why people don't want to give up their DNA, especially someone like Trump. I mean, there's many reasons why there's religious reasons why people wouldn't give up their DNA. There's many reasons why they wouldn't do that, but a clear, in my opinion, a clear sign of did he possibly do it? Somebody would peg him there that day. And I'm just giving you the reasons why.
I've already responded to this point multiple times. Why do you keep repeating this? What was my response to this, sir?
I'm giving you my points of why I disagree with it. It's not going to change your mind. It's not, and you're not going to change my mind on that subject.
But like, why not? You give me an actual, meaningful, intellectual response to what I said, rather than just saying the same thing over and over again.
Those are the reasons why those are the main reasons why I discredit the lawsuit altogether, and that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion of how I discredited that lawsuit. Now the other cases, I don't know the other cases that you're talking about, and I don't know enough to speak on them, so I can't. But I have looked into this one, and to me, it would it. If I was sitting on the jury, I would need someone to place them there, and that's a deal breaker for me.
Okay, so you're saying that you can't place him there, but based upon my argument, you can, because if he wasn't there, then specifically, if he wasn't there, then he would have given up his DNA. That's what we would expect.
I mean, you can't just assume that. I mean, the court don't look at it that way, so that can't. I mean, you can have an opinion of that, of course, but you can't. That just can't be law because you said so. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying, Parker? Yeah, it doesn't look good that he didn't give up his DNA, but that was his prerogative, unless they had a reason to take it from him. And if they would have ruled that way, they would have took it from him.
Okay. So you're saying that they would have been able to do what? Take what from him? You said.
If they could have forced his DNA.
No, they can't force it because it's not a criminal court.
Of course not.
But in a civil court, they have to ask for his consent.
So he's not doing anything outside the law. He's following his rights. So you can't judge him off of following his rights.
Yes, I can. The reason, like, for example, when Jeffrey Epstein doesn't answer a specific a question that would likely incriminate him, why is he not answering that question? It's very obvious why he's pleading the fifth in that scenario. It's because he's likely fucking guilty, okay? We obviously know that people plead the fifth because they're guilty all the fucking time. Like, you can use that to be able to conclude that all the time. That makes it obvious to you, okay? Now, the point that I'm making is that this is clearly true in this circumstance. This is like Donald Trump pleading the fifth. And that's what people don't realize.
I mean, I realize that you have a valid point that would clear some things up. But he had the right.
No, it's not that would have cleared things up. It's that him doing what he did literally makes me expect that he's guilty. It literally serves as evidence that he's guilty. And the fact that you don't realize this is concerning.
No, it's concerning that you can't consider that evidence because the law says you can't.
If you ask a serial murderer about the certain content specifically of like a certain murder and they're trying not to be held accountable for it, are they going to plead the fifth?
Not to consider that evidence.
Are they going
to? The court would tell you not to consider that as evidence.
Okay, in the
Because we know the
scenario
law.
where Epstein, I'll just bring up the scenario with Epstein. Scenario where Epstein's saying that he pleads the fifth, right? When he's asked about a certain thing and whether or not it incriminates him, why do you think that he pled the fifth in that scenario?
Because he felt he feared for his safety, I guess. That's one reason.
It's because
Or,
he thinks that it's going to incriminate him. So
of course, that's part of the
because
thing.
of his expectation that it will incriminate him, he decides to choose to plead the fifth. So what I'm saying is that this is true in the case with Donald Trump because if he was innocent, he had all of the best reasons to show that he wasn't at the scene of the crime. There's literally no good reason, if he's innocent, for him to hold on to his DNA in that circumstance and not give it to the civil court to show that he wasn't at the scene of the crime if he never met her, if he was never within close proximity to her in the first place.
If you were Donald Trump, would you trust a sample of your DNA in anybody's hands?
If I was in that circumstance, I would give up my DNA because I wouldn't be guilty.
What's to stop someone from using his DNA sample maliciously?
You
And that
understand
could
this is a court. They're not just
yeah,
throwing around his
yeah,
DNA.
yeah. It sounds crazy, but
You're being ridiculous.
I'm not being ridiculous.
Yeah, you are.
Money, people do things for money. People can be corrupted.
Okay,
So
but
would
you
you
have
want
no
to just
evidence of
volunteer?
that. Why are you believing that without any evidence?
Because you're telling me that somebody wouldn't try to corrupt that sample.
Yeah,
That's not
I'm saying that's not likely. That's not something that's
that's
going
not
to
a
happen.
possibility. That's not
No,
a possibility for
don't.
somebody like me.
I don't even think it's a possibility. No.
I do. I do.
No, it is not a physical possibility. The reason why it's not a physical possibility is because of the fact that there's absolutely no evidence justifying it. In order to demonstrate that it's a physical possibility, right, not logical possibility, you need to demonstrate evidence.
Okay. Well, we're not going to agree, so we might as well just agree to disagree on that subject. Unless you want to talk about something else. That's really my 2 cents on it. Parker. I do enjoy watching your content, though. You know, uh, and I do think you are responsible for your own success. So don't let me dismiss that. But the subject of Trump definitely helped you. There's no doubt about that. And so, I
Thank you for
mean,
conceding that point.
you're welcome.
Now can you concede the point that's clearly relevant that Trump didn't didn't lose the election in 20 or didn't win the election in 2020 and it wasn't rigged by the Democrats because they said things against him in the media. Like that's not what rigging means. Otherwise then you have to say that what you're doing is rigging the election because you're saying that you should support Trump and giving
No,
him
Parker.
good coverage.
No, Parker. What you're misunderstanding me. During that time, he was censored, and so was his supporters. And not only were they censored, they were um, they were banned and blocked, and they were smothered with uh, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? They were suppressed. Everything that
Dude,
came
I
out.
get banned on TikTok. I get banned on social medias. That doesn't mean that the government's fucking suppressing you. That's like the most ridiculous like assertion.
No,
There's
no,
just
no,
a
it's
bunch
not.
of Facebook people that literally don't know how banning works on social media because they haven't used social media before in their life, and then they assume that it's because of the government. Like it's literally that's
Parker,
literally the
Parker,
reason. I'm not trolling. That's literally
I
just the
can't think,
reason.
Parker, I can't think of exactly the comments I made, but I can think of several times that I made factual comments, and it was flagged as
Yeah, dude, you know that there can
It was
be an
flagged.
accidental ban or an accidental flag that you can appeal. You can appeal those bans because you can accidentally get banned. You know that, right?
I remember a handful of times that the statement was true and it was flagged as false information.
Yeah, you understand that it can accidentally happen because of how their systems are set up.
Do you understand that accidentally
I
happened
promise
more
you it
than
probably was
right?
not factual though.
No, 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 Parker. You can't just say everything's not factual. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You
these were actual factual proven points
I'm not saying
And they,
everything is not factual. What I am saying, though, is that it's probably not factual based upon the information that you've shown me on the stream of what you've said. So, I mean, I don't put it past it being misinformation. And, like,
the,
dude, again, whenever I get banned, I don't say, the government! Like, come on, dude. It's a private company. It's likely that it's just how their system is set up, likely because of how their models are set up. There are computers behind a lot of this. It's automated.
have you ever said something that was factual and got flagged or banned
Yes.
for it? How
Countless.
often?
I can't even count how many times it's happened to me. Holy shit, dude.
What I don't think you realize is happening consistently more on the other side, the other commentators. It's happened. The same thing you just felt is happening twice as much on the right side.
Bullshit.
And it was dim.
I'm on my third TikTok
It was
account,
dim for
dude.
sure.
Hey,
It
dude.
was dim
Hey,
for
dude.
sure.
Hey, let me let you know. I'm on my third this main account I'm on right now. This is my third TikTok account. My first one had 250K banned. Other one had like 100K banned. This one is my third one that I had to build up because two other ones got banned for no reason. I didn't say any false information, and I got banned one of them for misinformation.
I was trying to figure out why you had so many different profiles actually.
I don't have
But-
too many now. I only have 2 now on TikTok. So
That's good.
there are people that portray themselves as me. If they don't have hundreds of thousands of followers, it's not me. Hundreds of
Right.
thousands or millions. Like that's, but like if there's only specific accounts. Always check my accounts, my socials of this account before you believe that another account's mine. The only other TikTok account I have is Parker Get a Real Job.
Parker, I'm gonna have to go because people are talking about my kids.
Yeah, you're okay with doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Chat. Honestly, I'm kind of annoyed with why people are doing that because, like, if you like literally look, it's literally his kid, and it's like people are spamming and bringing attention to that. And I'm telling you guys, don't do that. What are you guys doing? You're bringing attention to it when it's literally nothing wrong. Like, it's kind of annoying. Like, yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, good afternoon, Parker, or good morning, whatever.
Do you
it
support
is for
Trump?
you. My name's Brian. I do support Trump. I'm 30 years old, brother.
If the
How are
election
you
were
doing?
held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for? Hello? Oh, by the way, none of that was on YouTube. It was only on TikTok because the people can click on and see his account. Hello, Brian, are you there? And I don't mean to be too mean to anyone like who was as well. Like I bet they were good intentioned. I just obviously like not everyone saw my comment too. So Brian, you can come back. Your mic just wasn't working. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Do
Hi, I'm 19.
you support Trump?
I'm from Butler.
I'm sorry, they sound young. Okay, all right, Brian. Why do you support Trump? I can't hear you at all now. Thank you for very much for the corgi. I'll thank a few people while you try to fix your microphone. JC, thank you so much for the $1. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That's exactly true. Thank you so much. Timmy as well. Thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Don't worry. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Timmy, what are you talking about? Timmy, I wasn't saying it was staged. I'm simply just saying that there are genuine questions there. And then also, secondly, it does not make us the same as MAGA to say that that event was staged. There is so much more evidence for saying that those things were staged, especially with Trump's behavior in terms of lying, than actually like saying that the election was rigged. Like that's a ridiculous claim because there's no history of elections being rigged like that or having that sort of fraudulent basis. But there is a basis of Donald Trump's statements, right, and his actions being fraudulent. So I do just want to clarify, it is not anywhere near the same. Also, I wasn't making the same insults. I don't know what insult you're referencing, Timmy. Anna, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. Angela Nader, thank you for this 7-month subscription. Thank you very much. Anna as well, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I thank you for the election ranking fund. Thank you very much. And then Anna, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Justina as well. Thank you for the $40. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it on PayPal. Thank you so much. Put some W's for Justina in the comment section right now. Tina, thank you for the dinosaur. Thank you very much. Elite Gunner, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Seriously though, as well as Linda, thank you for the $6. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It must have been a mistake. I can try to, but I don't know if I'll remember. Just letting you know. I recommend just making another account. Alrighty. Let's go on to the next person because they just left. So I guess they couldn't get their microphone to work. Alrighty, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Julie, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the membership subscription. Thank you very much. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Alrighty, let's go to the next person. Only set a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. If you want to support me, as always, everyone, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It's the best place to do so. Our best ways to support the stream, actually. It's absolutely free to do so. Shifty, thank you so much for the appreciate. Thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm confused what you mean. Or do you mean because you think it was staged?
Oh my
How old are you?
god, Parker, I love you, bro. Parker!
Appreciate you. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Hey, what's up? How old are you?
Y'all love you, Parker. You're amazing play role.
Appreciate you very much. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. It looks like there's not many Trump supporters that want to debate me right now. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, what the hell? Bro, I love you, bro. Oh.
Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yep.
How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Yeah, we have like no one in the guest box ever. And if you're a MAGA above the age of 18, send a guest request right now. Timmy, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much for all concede the staging statement. But you were saying that he was falling asleep though. Oh well, yeah, that's an insult I think is okay to make. I just wanted to clarify the insult. That's actually true. So yeah, that one I'm okay with making. I was doing that. That is actually because I'm trying to call out the hypocrisy of Republicans. I thought you were trying to say that I was making like an insult about like the assassination attempt or something. Let me just clarify. That was a big miscommunication. Sammy, thank you so much. The dynamic duo. Thank you so much, Sammy. I appreciate the dynamic duo. Can we get some W's for Sammy in the comment section right now? You as well, though, Timmy. Don't worry. Let's go on to the next individual. I have no guest requests right now, practically. It's all like trolls or no Trump supporters. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Okay, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Thank you for the sheep. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just tapping.
You're good. Don't worry. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. I think that we have no Trump supporters actually in the box. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, everyone. I'm trying to get the next person up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Which stream, Parker?
Hey, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
You helped me defeat my grandfather. You and
If they said that we helped them beat their grandfather. Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. W's beating them in a debate. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates. We actually have no guest requests right now. From MAGA. I think MAGA is scared to debate me. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah,
If the election was held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Well, first off, I thought the tariffs were good.
Okay. Why so?
Mainly because they promoted American industry, and we shouldn't really be endorsing Chinese child labor, Vietnamese child labor, and also in Thailand and Laos and stuff like that. So
You didn't reduce the likelihood of child labor happening by imposing these tariff laws. If anything, you actually caused conditions where they're more likely to happen because these companies still want to compete with American firms, even given the imposition of the tariff.
wait,
Plus, it
explain
hasn't
that to
brought
me
back
more.
domestic manufacturing to this country. It just caused the prices of our products to go up. According to the Federal Reserve report, we would actually be below pre-pandemic levels of inflation if Donald Trump didn't impose the tariffs.
Wait, so you're okay with paying cheaper prices, or you're okay with like child labor just because it means you're paying cheaper prices?
No, I think the way to actually address that is by targeted tariffs specifically on certain businesses that would be committing those particular violations. Thank you so much to the Galaxy. Thank you very much. Rather than just putting it on the country as a whole, because putting it on the country as a whole will just cause conditions where that will be more likely to happen because they have an incentive to reduce labor standards to be able to still compete with the market. Does it make sense?
Yeah, but you're still promoting American industry, so.
No, that's not happened. We've actually seen real domestic manufacturing investment decline every single quarter of Trump's administration.
Well, that's because the tariffs have been repealed over and over again because like the stock market crashed. But do you like think it was
The tariffs were
bad that
repealed because of not because of the stock market crash, but because of the Supreme Court determining them to be unconstitutional. So then he put new ones under a
yeah?
new law, which will only be in place for about like 100 or so days, and then
But I
it's
don't
going to be taken
understand. It's
down
crazy
because
that the tariffs
Congress won't
were
vote for it
unconstitutional. Like Obama and Biden
because
had
it was
tariffs too.
executive. And also, like these are universalized tariffs versus targeted tariffs.
Yeah. Well, still, I think it's better that we don't participate in like child labor going on in
But I just
China,
explained to you it's actually
India.
worse off when you impose these tariffs.
Please, like enlighten me how that if we promote American industry by
It doesn't promote
um,
American industry. I just explained how
literally it
real domestic
does.
manufacturing investment declined every single quarter of Trump's administration so
It
far.
literally does. It literally
Okay,
does.
what manufacturing investment has increased?
For example, just off the top of my head, like Apple started making their glass here in Kentucky.
Okay, well, that was already likely going to happen anyway. Secondly, what you're not considering is that in terms of the manufacturing investment, it's declined overall every single quarter of Trump's administration. So you would expect it to go up if you were actually going to expect to see manufacturing increase or to bring back manufacturing to this country.
Wait, hold on. So you just said, oh, it was just going to happen anyway. That's a fallacy. It's ridiculous, honestly, because it was a direct response to the tariffs and bringing back American industry.
What? What was
Like,
the direct
it wasn't
response?
going to happen anyway. The glass being made in Kentucky.
Okay, what's your source?
Because Tim Cook, like, specifically did that to promote American industry and
Well, you said he
under
did it just
Trump.
because of the tariffs. So can you give me any evidence of that?
Because of Trump, basically.
Okay, can you give me any evidence it was because of the tariffs?
Yeah, it was because of the tariffs and overall promoting American industry. He
Yeah, so
wouldn't have
what's
done
your
that under.
evidence?
Well, he didn't do it under Biden. He didn't do it
What's your
under
evidence?
Obama. Well, Tim Cook donated $1 million to his inauguration. That's evidence that he's
No, that's
favored
not
Trump.
evidence at all.
Yeah, it is.
That's evidence that he wants favors or that he thinks that $1 million will make his company more money in the long run. You have no clue what you're talking about. They're kissing up to the
No, you have no
president
clue what
because
you're
it's
talking
in their
about, buddy.
profit incentive to do so. They have a duty to their shareholders to do that because it's the profit maximizing condition.
No, I still think the tariffs are good because it literally prevents us condoning child labor in
Yeah, but I just
China.
explained to you how it's more likely to
No, you didn't
happen
explain to me
given the
that.
imposition of the tariffs. I actually did. You just choose not to acknowledge that at all.
Okay, explain it
I'll
to
explain
me
it one more time.
again.
So when you impose tariffs from an overall universal standpoint on an entire country, what you're doing is then you're incentivizing the companies within that country to reduce labor standards, to reduce costs, to then still be able to compete within the U.S. market given the imposition of the tariff. So they have an incentive to decrease costs, which means reducing labor standards. So it's more likely that you're going to see labor standards such as that if you actually impose a tariff, right, universally on a country over the entire market, rather than just imposing it on specific markets or specifically doing so on specific companies. Because if you did so on specific
Let me explain
companies, it would
tariffs to you,
address
though.
the companies that engage in that behavior rather than saying all companies in this particular country are going to be treated the exact same way, even if they don't engage in this. Because then those companies that aren't engaging in that will have to start engaging in it to be able to then be able to compete with the market. Otherwise, they'll go out of business. So that's what
But
you're
let me
not
explain
realizing.
tariffs, though. Can I explain now?
Yeah, of
So,
course you can.
so what happens is you impose a tariff on a country like China, where the majority of manufacturing occurs because of outsourcing, and that raises costs of goods coming out of that country to make uh, products produced in our country more competitive.
So I think it makes it more competitive if we were to if we were to keep no tariffs because then there's global
How?
competition.
Yeah, but we don't want
You're
global
getting rid of
competition.
yeah, exactly. You're getting rid of global competition, therefore reducing the level of overall competition,
Wait, hold
which then
on. So
reduces
you
innovation.
want global competition?
Yes,
Okay, so then you don't actually give a shit about American industry. You just
I do.
are,
I think
no, you
that
don't.
critical industries make sense to uphold, but otherwise, I believe that we should have global trade. Absolutely, I believe that we should have global competition. I believe that that creates the most level of innovation. You don't believe in U.S. citizens' ability to compete on a global stage?
Well, I think
Oop.
that tariffs, like for example,
Doesn't sound
are
very patriotic of you to not believe in your country's ability to compete around the
for
world.
example, also tariffs are actually better for the economy. Do you know why?
How so?
For the average person, because you can take the money earned from tariffs and lower the income tax, which, oh, you're laughing. Okay. But it's true. You can lower the income tax. There wasn't an income tax until like the early 1900s under Woodrow Wilson. We survived off of tariffs.
And we had no Social Security, no Medicare, no Medicaid, no food
Well,
stamps. We didn't
we
have
didn't have Social Security
most social
until
programs that we
FDR.
have today. So, we're going to have a completely different world if we're going to be doing that. Secondly, replacing income tax with tariffs just shifts the burden of taxation from those that are disproportionately higher income to those that are disproportionately lower income because tariffs apply to everyone, even those that specifically make lower than the standard
No.
deduction. So if you increase the price of their
Even the
consumer
income
products,
tax
listen, please
affects
listen. You need
lower
to listen.
income.
I'm educating you. So the real explanation is that for the lowest levels of income, people who specifically don't pay into the income tax structure because of standard deduction, right, they would be paying into the structure given the imposition of tariffs because it increased the cost of the consumer products that affect them. They spend a disproportionate amount of their income on these consumer products because cost of living makes up a greater percentage of their overall income comparative to income or individuals who are rich. So the increase in the cost of products affects the lower income individuals proportionally to a greater extent, therefore getting most of the revenue proportionally from the lowest income, right, rather than proportionally getting it from the highest levels of income. The more money you make, the more you pay into the system. That's how income tax works, but not with
Yeah.
tariffs.
Yeah. So also even people making 60,000 a year, which or is like not enough to support a family or anything. Like they are still paying, I think 17-20% in taxes in income tax. So
I
that
I
still would
actually don't know
benefit
where
them.
you see 17 to 20%. Actually, where do you see that?
Just look it up.
Yeah, you're covering your microphone over a bunch of
Just look
times.
it up, bro. Just look it up.
Okay.
Don't you think that like around 17% of your entire income
13%.
is worth more than eggs going
It's
up by
around
like
13%.
13%? Still
Yeah.
pretty high. I wasn't far off, you know.
Sure. I mean, if you want to reduce that tax rate, then we need to increase the tax rate for the highest levels of income.
No, actually, the rich already pay a lot of taxes.
No, they
So
don't.
you
The
don't.
top
Yeah,
400
they do.
billionaires pay a lower effective tax rate than the working class. Did you know that?
No, it's just because there's only tax on capital gains. So if they don't sell their stocks, they're
And
not paying
even
the
when they
tax.
sell it, they get lower tax rates. Capital gains has nearly half the tax rates, right, at the same level of income comparative to income tax. They also, right, just essentially don't pay taxes, right, on salary in the same way that everyone else does, because they don't take the salary in the same way, and then they just take care of their personal needs based upon a loan that they take against the valuation of their stock.
Well, like capital gains, I think has really high tax rates. So don't know what you're talking about.
No, it doesn't. 20% is the highest tax rate for capital gains.
That's the corporate tax rate.
Nope. 20% long-term capital gains is the highest tax rate for capital gains. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, hold on. Like if you invest
Like,
like
where did you get that information
$500 million,
from?
well, let's look it up then.
Well, I already
You're the one.
have. I
Look,
know
why don't you
every.
have a screen out to fact check me? You're like the one hosting.
I already just fact checked you. I've already done research on
Yeah,
this
but
before
your
in my
screen
life.
isn't out. Like, Dean has a screen ready to fact check everyone. You don't even have that. Come on.
Do you want a cookie? I already fact checked you without needing to look it up. I've
Yeah,
already
still,
looked this up and done the research prior. I know. I
still
told you
the
the
rich pay a
exact
lot in tax. You don't
percentage.
know what you're talking about.
So my memory did it. You already got fact checked.
The rich already pay a lot in tax. They do.
I already told you the top 400 billionaires pay a lower effective tax rate than the working class. Now, the highest income tax earners, yes, they do pay their fair share. But for the people who aren't paying income tax, they don't.
Yeah, because they already had the money to invest, probably. So it's not like they're getting income. They're just making money off of money they already had. I
Yeah,
mean,
but they should still be taxed at a higher rate than 20% for we're talking tens of millions of dollars, right? That's
yeah,
absurd.
sure, sure. I mean, I guess yeah, we should do that then.
Yeah.
But still, tariffs are actually good for American industry. So
Okay, but you haven't actually demonstrated that at all. Can you name one
I
benefit to
literally I
American
explained
industry
it
that's
to you,
happened
bro.
from the generalized universal tariffs?
I literally explained it to you, bro.
You actually didn't.
Yes, I did. If you raise tariffs on like a certain country, you make the American manufactured products more competitive because it costs more to
And I
make.
explained how you don't make it more competitive because you reduce global competition. Secondly,
Yeah, the whole point is reducing global competition.
what you're doing is saying that you're incentivizing people to buy American produced goods. Well, what you're not doing is that because one, these are executive policy based, not legislative based. So they're not long term. There's not much of an incentive in the long run. They're going to stay around. It's likely the next administration is going to come in, take them away, or that the Supreme Court shot it down. Oh wait, that already did happen. That's exactly why there wasn't much certainty that they were going to stay in place or that they were going to incentivize the domestic manufacturing here. Secondly, it increases the cost of domestic manufacturing within this country, therefore making it more expensive for manufacturers to produce, therefore disincentivizing that manufacturing within this country.
How does it increase the cost of manufacturing in this country?
Because we get materials involved in the domestic manufacturing process from countries around the world. So
We have a
aspects
lot
of
of
the production
materials too,
process
bro.
come from countries around the world. If you tariff them, right, to consumers who are buying them from this country, which the manufacturers would be in this context because they're using them as a part of their products, right, they would be consuming those goods, paying the extra cost because of the tariffs, which then causes the cost of their products to be more expensive because the input costs are more now.
Like, we have so many resources, by the way, in America. I don't think you realize that. But also, like, I'll just give you examples of American
But yet
businesses
it's
that,
more cost effective to use the resources from countries all around the world in different contexts depending on the situation, and that's why it costs more to produce them here in the United States. That's why the global economy is constructed in the way in which it is. It's specifically based upon what is the most profitable and produces the most quality good.
can I ask you a question? So, like, who would you want to favor as a company, Tesla or BYD?
I'm not familiar with BYD. I don't know what that is.
It's a Chinese electric car company.
Well, the reason why you wouldn't do the Chinese electric car company is because of the massive targeted tariff that they have. That's over 100%.
Yeah, so we'd want to favor Tesla.
Yeah, which by the way, I don't know how much I necessarily agree with that, to be honest. Like I do actually think the lower costs on electric vehicles would actually be positive. But having a constructed industry here in the United States is beneficial. There just needs to be the correct incentives. I don't really like Tesla, so
I mean, there are other American electric car companies too, like Rivian, Lucid, but like we should be favoring them too. I mean, why should we favor BYD, which is cheaply made by child labor in China, and
actually, what's your
owned
evidence
by
of
Xi
that?
Jinping? What?
What's your evidence that they use child labor to produce their vehicles?
Well, they heavily exploit laborers without paying them a living wage. So,
Can I get a source? Because you would just move
well,
the goalpost. It sounds like you don't know what you're talking about.
no, actually, everyone will agree with me. So,
Most people don't agree with you in the comment section. So would you like to provide the source,
yeah,
buddy?
your comment section that's like brainwashed.
Okay,
they're
so
like-
maybe you're the one that's brainwashed. Would you like to provide the source?
bro, why don't you pull it up? Pull it up.
Why
look
don't
it
you
up.
look it up your own claim?
Because you're the one that has like if you look it up, everyone sees.
You're the one that
source.
has a supercomputer in your hand.
No, I don't have a supercomputer. I have
Yes,
an
you do.
iPhone, bro.
That's a
an
supercomputer.
No, and it's made in China very
So-
cheaply.
So would you like to go look it up? You said that there was evidence that it was made by children. So what's the evidence?
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Okay. Alrighty, in the meantime, let me thank some people real quick. Billy, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, you know what? I do need to do that. As well as Kirsten, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I actually haven't. So I'd have to go look. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Cowboy, thank you so much for the $33. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Because of W's for them in the comment section right now. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Cowboy. As well as I think I'm actually fully caught up. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. As always, everybody. Pauline as well, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So like you know the Uyghur concentration camps in China?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so BYD actually uses that. They face allegations for using that in their aluminum.
What's the
resource.
evidence other than allegation? Because you don't accept allegations, remember?
It was blacklisted by Brazil for slave-like conditions.
Okay.
BYD.
Okay, but like,
The actual country Brazil. So that's evidence already.
okay, so just the country. Okay, I mean, I guess maybe Country, you could okay, I accept mean- that as a standard. I don't see that as evidence yet. What was the evidence? You can't just say this country.
Bro,
But did they blacklist
Brazil
the
has
entire
a lot more
country or just
resources
BYD?
than me. Brazil blacklisting them for slave-like conditions.
BYD or the entirety
BYD.
of the country?
BYD
Okay, where'd you see that?
on Google.
What on Google?
It's like Google summary AI. You know,
Okay, of course.
I mean, I don't understand. AI is great for research, so.
Okay. So by the way, it's completely different than what you're saying. 163 workers living under degrading conditions, long hours without weekly breaks. Okay, that's bad. We should. I agree with like blacklisting it based upon those conditions, but I think that's different than what you were saying. Like, why do you have to like lie?
Wait, what? How was I lying?
You said child labor. That was not what it says.
Yeah, but
Like
in
you
the
just
Uyghur
like straight up
concentration
lied.
camps, there are
You just
children.
like wait. By the way, you just like straight up lied.
No, I didn't.
You did. Yeah. Like where
No,
are the
I said-
children?
I said child labor, exploited labor.
Wait,
all
that those are. You brought up the exploited labor after I
So you don't
called you
think
out for
adult exploited labor matters too?
it. It does, but I'm calling out how you were being dishonest. I actually did say it matters. I said that it makes sense to blacklist them based upon that, but you didn't
Actually,
listen to that.
it also says there have been
can you like
allegations of
address
child
what I'm,
labor.
dude? Why do people on the live do this? I'm asking you a direct question, and you're like purposefully like acting like a fucking politician and trying to get around it. How about you address the fucking statement you made that was utterly fucking false?
No, because there have been
Acknowledge it was
allegations.
wrong. Why
There
did
have
you
been
lie?
allegations about it.
Why did you lie?
I just said there were allegations.
No, there aren't. You didn't even
Yes,
point to
there are.
allegations specifically about child labor. So can you admit you lied? Like, why can't you just like respond to this and acknowledge that you
No,
were
I
wrong?
didn't intentionally lie.
Well, okay, so you didn't. So you were just wrong.
Listen, sure, maybe I was
What do you mean? Listen,
wrong
sure. Fuck
about the
you,
child
dude.
labor.
Why can't you just acknowledge you're wrong? Jesus Christ, dude.
Okay, then acknowledge you were wrong about the human labor exploitation.
I never
adult
said that
labor.
it didn't happen.
Yes, you did. You were like, no, there's no evidence.
I said, do you have any evidence of this? That's not saying it didn't happen.
You were like being very hostile, saying, "Nah, I was lying."
Yeah, because you clearly were like acting like you didn't know what you were talking about, and I proved that because you said that they were engaging in child labor, but then when you looked it up, you found nothing justifying that.
Okay, fun.
Okay,
But I
all right.
didn't intentionally lie.
Okay, but can you acknowledge you're wrong, and then we can move on.
Yeah, sure. I was wrong about the child labor, but I was right about the human exploitation. So,
Yes, agreed. Now, do you see how you have to do it to specific companies rather than doing it to the country as a whole in order to be able to actually limit this from happening in the first place?
yeah, sure. But a lot of other companies in China also use like the Uyghur Muslims in the concentration camps for labor as well. They benefit from
Any
them, so-
time that happens, that should be condemned as well, and that we shouldn't use any products from that.
Yeah, but you know what doesn't? Like Rivian, Tesla, Lucid, they make their cars in America, so.
Okay, I don't know what your point is with this.
So like my point is we should be promoting American industry and the tariffs are a good
And
way to
again,
do
that's
that.
different in the context of a targeted tariff compared to a universal tariff.
Okay, so but you're still in support of tariffs then, right?
Targeted tariffs.
Okay, so then why does the left always just go after Trump for tariffs when in reality it's just a disagreement of execution?
I'm confused what you mean. Repeat what you just said?
Like you support the broader idea of tariffs, but you just don't like the way Trump is executing it.
No, I don't support the broader idea of tariffs. I support targeted tariffs in certain hyper-specific critical industry needs. Okay?
Yeah, that's still supporting tariffs though.
Certain tariffs, not all tariffs.
Okay,
Like,
yeah. So
you know, when you say tariffs, what someone's thinking is the universal tariffs that Trump's advocating for. When I'm saying tariffs in this context, it's targeted, hyper-specific niche tariffs on certain industries.
well, I think the Supreme Court blocked like all of Trump's tariffs. So
Okay, well, now they have. So that just shows that they haven't produced any benefit. And they got taken out.
do you think the Supreme Court was wrong or right to do that?
Oh, they were totally right.
Okay. So were they also right about Roe v. Wade?
No.
Why?
Well, because I think that we should be protecting like abortion rights in this country.
Okay, but wouldn't you trust the Supreme Court to make the right constitutional decision?
I mean, I can disagree with some of the Supreme Court's decisions. Yeah,
Yeah, but it
but
sounds
that's
like
a
you're
disagree.
cherry-picking.
Well, I disagree morally with their decision. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
You
but
consider
even
it
if you
cherry picking
disagree,
to morally disagree with their actions in terms of restricting policies in terms of Roe versus Wade, right? But then specifically saying that I agree with the determination about tariffs. I don't see how that's dishonest
but like
to say that I
you know
agree with
how
one but not the other. Like what?
you know how your opinion you can have a strong opinion about keeping abortion legal, but that doesn't make it constitutional.
So you're saying you can support it, but it doesn't make it constitutional. I do think that Roe versus Wade is constitutional, and I also think
How?
morally it should be protected.
Yeah, well, if you want to morally protect it, then you need to like pass a new amendment. But right now, it's definitely not protected by any law.
You have to pass a legislative bill to protect it at this point.
Yeah,
Okay, but so why can't I disagree with the determination?
Because the Supreme Court, I think, is more qualified than
Okay,
you.
so then do you agree with the Supreme Court's determination on the 14th Amendment?
Wait, what? Can you give me more context?
Yeah, that they think that children born to undocumented immigrants are U.S. citizens?
Yeah.
Okay, so you disagree with Trump?
Yeah, but I think we can pass a law that changes that.
Okay. So what law?
Well, we would pass. I don't think it can just be done by an executive order. There would need to be a law that says now your parents have to be green card holding immigrants or citizens for you to be
No,
a
it has to
citizen.
be a constitutional amendment. You know that, right?
Yeah, whatever amendment.
You're not going to
or
get a constitutional amendment for that.
Yeah, I guess we won't then.
Okay, but Trump literally reposted someone's message on Truth Social saying that we need a Jackson president that says no to the Supreme Court about the 14th Amendment if they make a determination against him.
Yeah, well, I think Trump is really cool, and he's just says it out how it is. So,
Oh, okay, so you think it's cool for him to say that he's going to undermine the Constitution?
well, I think he exaggerates sometimes, but I think overall he's a cool, confident person.
Okay. So you think he's a cool, confident person? Okay.
Yeah.
But what makes you think that?
Probably just, he destroyed Joe Biden in that debate. Remember?
But he got destroyed by Kamala Harris in the debate.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Can you name one point that Joe Biden lost on against Trump?
Well, Joe Biden was saying like we beat Medicare or something.
So
And then
something
Trump-
that he unintentionally said. Didn't you unintentionally say something earlier?
Yeah.
And you
And
said
then
that we should
Trump
make fun of you
said-
for it?
And then Trump said,
Wait, so should we make fun of
beat
you
it to
for the
death.
unintentional things that you said earlier?
No, because I wasn't
No?
like going off on a incoherent rant. I was
Yeah, you
just
were.
wrong. No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. You were completely incoherent.
No, I was actually coherent. I just
All of
made
us think that
an
you were incoherent.
Exaggerated point.
Plus, Trump is incoherent all the time. Trump literally said that he doesn't drink Diet Coke because Diet Coke kills grass, which means it kills cancer. Or he does drink Diet Coke because it kills cancer, because it kills grass. He also said that Jesus, if it were the vote counter in California, that he would have won the vote against Joe Biden in California. He also said that windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. He looked up at an eclipse twice with his bare eyes. He said we
Yeah,
should look into
you-
disinfectant by injection to fight COVID-19. He said we should nuke hurricanes.
Yeah, so you like just memorized all of that, but you haven't memorized all of the crazy things Joe Biden said,
Yeah, because what Trump did was intentional there. What Biden did was unintentional. So can you give me anything that Trump beat Joe Biden on in the debate?
Yeah.
I'm waiting, Dylan. Sleepy Dylan. Are you there, Dylan?
Sorry, yeah, one sec. I just had to go out of my room. Okay. What were you asking me?
Yeah, can you name one point that Donald Trump beat Joe Biden on in the debate?
Yeah, so basically Joe Biden said, we beat Medicare or whatever, and then Trump said, yeah, you beat it to death. That's just off the top of my head.
That's not him beating him on any point. That's a snide
Yeah,
comment
because-
about him unintentionally saying something. So can you give me an actual response about something that he intellectually beat him on?
I guess the border, right? The border. Because Joe Biden let in a
What
lot
about the
of-
border? That's not a specific point.
Okay, well, Joe Biden let in a lot of, how do I say this? Am I allowed to say some words on TikTok without getting banned, or let me see? I
Nope.
don't know.
He
So-
let in undocumented immigrants? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, he let in a lot of criminals
No, he did not intentionally let in
That-
criminals.
that
You voted for
the
a convicted
country.
criminal that pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers and intentionally released them into our country.
What was that?
Yeah, you voted for a convicted criminal held civilly liable of sexually abusing someone who's also a violent sex offender again, who literally
Wait.
pardoned violent rioters who beat
Hold
police
on, hold
officers
on.
and called them patriots and released them into our country intentionally.
Hold on, that was a civil lawsuit from
Yeah.
20 years ago, a complete political trial.
The civil lawsuit, he was held liable 3 years ago. Less than 3 years
it
ago.
was for something he did like 20 years ago, right?
Yeah. So, if you sexually
Yeah,
abuse
and
someone
it was a
20 years ago,
political
it's still
trial.
wrong, right?
But if he were in Florida, he would have been found innocent. If he were in Texas, he would have been found innocent.
Wait, repeat that one more time.
If he were in Florida or Texas or a red state, he would have been found innocent.
We have no evidence for that.
Yeah, we did.
What's your evidence?
Because it was a political trial and the judge was a
That's
very
not
far
evidence.
left Democrat.
That's just a claim
The judge was
from
a far
yourself.
left Democrat.
No, that's not what the court determined. Because there was a court determination of whether or not this judge was biased in the very first place to determine whether or not they should be able to be a judge for the case. They determined that the judge was completely fine.
Yeah, but if you look at the prosecutors who did the case, they were very anti-Trump. They went after Trump. Because
So,
they
so the
wanted to.
prosecutor was trying to prosecute someone. No fucking shit. That's their job, dude. The prosecutor is trying to prosecute you. Wow, that's a complicated thing to fucking understand.
He was trying to prosecute Trump
Yeah, no shit. They're the prosecutor in the case.
because why do you think he prosecuted him?
Wow,
right
the
before he ran for
prosecutor was
re-election?
really trying to prosecute Trump in the case. Oh my god, how horrible, actually. So out of the ordinary.
Yeah. So why did he prosecute Trump right before he ran for president then?
Who?
Why did he prosecute Trump right before he ran for president?
Who ran for president?
Trump.
Why did he get prosecuted before he ran for president?
Yeah, like around the time he ran for president.
This was before he ran for president. Well before. It was in between him losing the 2020 election and between the 2024 election.
No, the convicted felon one. Remember? It's like Stormy Daniels.
Yeah,
he got
that also
prosecuted.
happened between then too. Because he committed the
It
crime.
happened right when he was like running for re-election.
Because he
in
committed the
2024.
crime in 2016.
Okay. Why wasn't he prosecuted earlier?
Because he was fucking elected president, genius.
No, he wasn't elected president in 2020 to 2024.
Dude, that's when they went after him for the case.
Yeah, but still, they were going after him solely because he was looking for re-election in 2024.
Okay. So you're claiming it's because he was looking for re-election. How did they know that in 2021 or 2022? Of course, actually, you could say that they knew that because of that, but then any time that they went after him, you're just going to be like, oh, it was because he was already, in the candidacy.
It was because it was completely political. Everyone agrees with me.
No, it wasn't. If it was completely...
Everyone agrees with me.
If it was
Everyone agrees with me.
Everyone does not agree with you. Why are you saying that?
Maybe.
Why are you
not
saying that
you.
while you're disagreeing with someone? That is like the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. There's someone
No,
disagreeing
like,
with you on the
what
live. You're like,
metaphor
everyone
is?
agrees with me. Hello, am I not a person?
No, you're not. No, I'm joking. I'm exaggerating because the vast majority of people agree with me.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do because they know that if Trump were prosecuted in like Arkansas, he would be found innocent.
You have no polls
obviously.
that indicate a majority of people think that Trump was wrongly prosecuted.
Oh my God! So you don't think that if he were found
His
guilty-
approval rating is dog shit right now. You know that, right?
was it like 40%?
No, it's like 37%.
37. Oh wow, that's so much lower. Okay,
It is,
So-
actually.
not really. It's 3% lower. And still, that's only because every president has their approval rating go down in the first 2 years. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to get out of this. What's your point?
Well, my point is that it was a political trial, that Trump is actually a cool, awesome guy, and he's a great
He's
president.
not. So you just say it's a political... So you're not willing to accept anything to be true against Trump just because you think everything against him is political.
What am I
So
not
this
willing
is
to
this is
accept?
why you're a cult member, because there is no
No, I'm
piece of
not.
evidence. There's no piece
Wait,
of
hold on.
There is zero pieces of evidence that you would accept as actual legitimate basis to say that Donald Trump did this. You'd come up with any excuse for your daddy Trump.
Hold on. No, I'm not a cult member. I hold beliefs from both sides, actually. Why do you think I'm a vegan?
You're a vegan Trump supporter?
Yeah.
You literally support a rapist. You support a guy complicit in harming our environment who believes
No,
the
he's not a
climate's going to start
rapist.
cooling. Science just doesn't know it yet. And you're vegan?
Are you vegan or no?
No,
Obviously not, right?
but you're vegan and you care about the environment, correct?
Yeah, I do. I care about.
Then
the
why did you
billions
vote
of
for a
animals.
candidate that thinks the climate
I
change
care
is a
about
hoax?
the billions of animals being.
And more animals are
murdered.
going to die because of climate change. Significantly higher amounts. Okay, so if you care about animals, how the hell could you possibly support Trump?
Well, what is Kamala doing to combat
Answer
climate
the
change?
how? Because the largest investment in renewable energy ever through the Inflation Reduction Act.
No, hold on. I care. One of the reasons I gave originally for supporting Trump was because of the tariffs, which actually do help. And most climate change and pollution is happening in China, India because of manufacturing.
But they're
promote
actually
American
trying to
industry.
address it, and even so, that means that we should still try to address it here. What? Your
Yeah,
argument
I don't
is
agree with
now
Trump
that we
on
shouldn't
everything.
address it because we're not the main
No.
contributors now.
I do agree we should address it.
Okay,
Well,
so
I
then if
think
we
the
should
tariffs
address it,
also
then
do.
why do you support the candidate that believes that climate change is a hoax?
Well, he doesn't believe climate change is a hoax.
He does. I can play an
he
audio
doesn't.
clip of him saying the climate's going to start cooling and science just doesn't know it yet. Listen in.
Well, you're
So I
virtue
think one
signaling 'cause you
area
don't
of
actually
mutual
care.
agreement and priority is vegetation management. But I think we want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay. It'll start getting cooler.
I
You
wish
just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Hey, well, I don't think science knows, actually.
Wait, when did he say climate change was a hoax?
This is in 2020.
He didn't say it was a hoax.
He did. I can also play a clip of him saying it's a hoax.
Okay, then play it.
Didn't I just say that he says the climate's going to start cooling and science just know it? Yeah,
Well,
that's him
you
calling it a
realize
hoax.
climate change is different from global warming because in some places the climate cools.
Oh
some
my god,
places the climate's-
global warming is a part of climate change, dude.
Yeah,
Like one
but
of the
there's
main
also-
fundamental aspects
You
of it.
realize? Do you know why they changed the name to climate change? Because it doesn't reflect all.
Because global
like,
warming doesn't
global
reflect
warming
all
isn't-
of the changes of the climate. I'm not disputing
Yes, I know. Climate change just means there are more severe weather increases or whatever. Basically,
that. It's not
Weather
just that,
changes.
but you understand that, like, I just gave you a point to indicate that literally Donald Trump thinks the climate's going to start cooling and science just doesn't know it yet.
Okay, well, I don't agree with him on everything. But,
Tell him, Ivy.
Elon Musk supports climate change. Or he's against climate change, I mean. He wants to prevent climate change.
Hold up. Are they going to play the
The
clip?
carbon footprint.
Oh my god, this is just like some clip that's not even showing it. Oh, here we go.
The seas will rise over the next 400 years, 1/8 of an inch, which means...
Oh, I can't play this because Bernie put fucking sound in the background.
Too bad.
Thank you, everybody. I think...
Okay, well, I can't play it because there's background noise. Oh, Bernie.
Yeah, so will you admit that you don't know what you're talking about?
I literally have a clip. I can tell you the title of it. I just can't play it on the live because there's literally like an issue.
Okay. Well, you didn't
I
find a
also
clip
just
that-
played a clip for you. You can find this from Bernie Sanders, though. Donald Trump thinks the climate crisis is a hoax. Also, I just played you an audio recording of Donald Trump saying that the climate's going to start getting cooler and science just doesn't know it yet.
Okay. Well,
You actively acknowledge that that's
Dad-
undermining climate change. Like, that's saying that it's not a real thing.
I don't think Kamala Harris is really doing anything to combat climate change.
I already
either,
told
and
you
I'm
the
choosing
inflation.
between the two.
You are such a dishonest prick. I just explained to you. I literally just explained to you how the Inflation Reduction Act, the largest investment in renewable energy ever, of not just this country, of any country in the history of the world, is not enough. Are you fucking serious? Compared to Donald Trump denying climate change's existence and thinking it's a hoax, thinking the climate's going to start cooling and science just doesn't know it yet? You just are such a fucking virtue signaler.
Hold on. I don't think Kamala Harris does care about climate change at all because
The
she's not doing
Inflation
anything
Reduction Act.
to stop. She's not promoting. I do disagree. I think we should be promoting plant-based foods, and lab-grown meat and eggs and dairy and everything. But so I
Okay.
disagree. Some Republican states to like ban lab-grown meat, which is
Yeah,
bad.
you know, Republicans are the ones trying to ban that shit.
Yeah, that's bad.
We're not trying to
But
ban that. Plus, you said Kamala Harris isn't going far enough. Trump didn't
the
even address it at
tariffs
all. You voted for him
and
still.
the DRUG.
Wait, so
coming
your
across our
argument is
border-
because you didn't vote for Kamala Harris because she's not vegan? That's your view? Are you fucking serious?
No, I never said that. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
Okay, so then what's the actual argument? What could she have done that would have got you to support her?
Because she was, first of all, the COVID vaccine mandates on federal workers.
There was on federal workers? Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You don't believe in
You don't
vaccine
care about
mandates?
federal workers?
I do, but in order to be a federal worker, if you can medically
First of
take the
all,
vaccine, you should
COVID
take it.
vaccine was not helpful for really young people at all.
Yes, it is.
No, it wasn't. That's
Dude,
not true.
there's a bibliography in my bio with 30
Hold on,
plus
no,
pages.
I have
Please stop
so many
talking for a
statistics to
second.
back
Please
me
stop
up.
talking for a second. There's a bibliography in my bio of 30 plus pages
No.
of peer-reviewed studies, literally the top-rated studies, right, across the board that indicate that the vaccines are safe and effective,
Okay, hold on. Wait.
including for young people.
Do you know what percent of people under the 17 to 0 died of COVID?
Do I know what percent dies? It's not just about
Or do you
getting-
even know how many? Do you even know how many?
Dude, this is how I know that you have no clue what you're talking about. It's not just dying from COVID. It's getting COVID, the symptoms, transmitting it to other people. It's specifically being hospitalized for
COVID,
it.
the COVID vaccine doesn't
It's
do
also
anything to
it's
stop
also
transmission.
long COVID. It's all the symptoms and all the things that can stay around long term that can negatively impact people that we don't want people to have to deal with in the first place. So all of those things are issues that you're not even considering when you're just looking at the death rate.
Well, first of all, death rate's the most important. Would you at least agree on that?
No.
Oh, you don't think that we should first focus on solving COVID deaths? You think we should focus on preventing symptoms and everything for regular people, right?
I think that for young people, right, the number one threat to them in terms of COVID is not the likelihood of death, but rather the likelihood of long-term negative impacts of transmitting it to loved ones that could die or could be hospitalized for it.
Hold on. The
etc.
COVID vaccine doesn't stop transmission.
I never said it stops transmission. I said it prevents or slows it, reduces it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It does.
Actually,
Yes, it does.
The CDC is no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
You're wrong. The CDC has actually backtracked on their previous
Wrong.
advice. No, you're wrong. Actually,
No, I'm not.
because
I promise
it does
you I'm not.
actually do anything to stop the spread.
It does. It
And-
prevents it. Not completely stops it, but it prevents it.
Okay.
Like the same way like how a seatbelt doesn't totally stop you from getting hurt, but it reduces the likelihood that you get hurt.
Stop. Well, you're not a doctor. You
Your
really
your
don't know
whole
what you're
argument is
talking
here,
about. I'm
oh,
looking at
people still have
statistics.
gotten hurt even though they're wearing seatbelts. People have still died even though they wore a seatbelt. Are you fucking
Okay.
serious, dude? Use your brain,
No.
dude. It prevents
No.
the likelihood of
COVID
these things
vaccine
happening.
Did not stop transmission at all. That's
It
a
prevents
lie.
it. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I told
That's
you already. There's a
literally
bibli-
not even true anymore.
Hey, dude. Yes,
Look
it
it
is.
up.
Dylan,
Look it
give
up.
me a single source because I told you there's a bibliography in my bio of 30 plus pages of straight up peer reviewed sources in my bibliography indicating that this is exactly what's true. So I'd love to see anything that what you're saying, justification for any of it. By the way, while you're out of the app, I can't hear you. Just letting you know, you have to memorize it and come back into the app. Jenny, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. He literally does. Dylan, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. He cares about the mistreatment of children and child labor, which is something that you should care about, but then doesn't care about the fact that Donald Trump is preventing the release of the Epstein files, right? Which is limiting people from being held accountable for abusing kids.
Why didn't Biden actually release the Epstein files then?
It was completely sealed by a grand jury up through 2024. The DOJ was independent
Wait.
of the Biden administration, meaning that they weren't weaponizing the DOJ, and it relied upon a vote from Congress to get it passed in the first place, which existed under the Trump administration, but Trump prevented the release of the Epstein files because he said that Marjorie Taylor Greene was a traitor because she wanted the release of the Epstein files. He called the Epstein files a hoax, saying that anyone who wanted the release of the Epstein files never actually supported him in the first place. Now go find your fucking source, little buddy. Let me keep
Never
thinking.
said that, but,
Go find your
first
source,
of all,
buddy. Let me
are you
thank
willing to
people.
condemn Bill
Let me thank
Clinton
people,
for-
Dylan. Nice pivots. Go find your source, bud. Molly, thank you so much for the $55. Thank you very much thank you for doing the work to challenge MAGA. Every time you get someone to concede, I jump for joy. Your work is so important. Thank you so much, Molly. Give me some W's from Molly in the comment section right now for the $55 on Venmo. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Molly. Dean and others too. You are changing minds and it's incredible. Thank you so much, Molly. That is so kind of you. As well as Jennifer, thank you so much for the $10. I always keep fact checking. Thank you very much. Law as well, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's also very true. That's also very true. Well, thank you very much. Kristen, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think over DMs. As well as Bethany, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, I have. As well as Nicolette, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, yes,
I'm
long
on
COVID has
sources
affected
now.
so many people. It's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you so much, Nicolette. I really appreciate it. Thank you. They said their lungs have never been the same since 2020 when they got COVID, and that they have long COVID. Well, thank you so much, Nicolette, and I'm so sorry to hear that you went through that. And you're still going through it. Okay, do you want to say what you want to say?
Now.
Go ahead. What's your source?
Yeah, so the CDC says because vaccines slightly reduce your chances of getting COVID, then it justifies saying it reduces your chances of infecting others.
It's not just because of that, but that's something taken into consideration for reducing likelihood of impacting others.
Yeah,
but thank you for
there's
the
also like the
thank you for the
viral load, which
concession.
is slightly
Hey, thank you for the
reduced.
concession. Oh, no, viral load's also lower. Thank you for the concession.
Yeah, slightly reduced.
Oh, well, thank you for the concession.
No, it's not a concession because that you said that justifies a mandate for
Yes, it
everyone.
is.
You said that
You
justifies a
literally
mandate for
conceded,
everyone.
bro.
No,
You conceded.
First of all, you said that justifies a mandate for everyone. Also, these studies were conducted by the companies selling the vaccine as well to the government.
No, they are not. There are independent, internationally based studies.
Yes,
there are. Look at my bibliography, buddy. Look at my bibliography.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. But
no, I'm not. Just saying I'm wrong is not an argument.
No, actually, first of all, why don't I give you a statistic, right? So, do you know that I think 95% of all COVID deaths were 65 plus?
Yeah, that's likely true.
Yeah, so then why do you think we should mandate vaccines for kids entering kindergarten? COVID vaccine?
I don't think we did that.
No, they did.
No, they didn't.
They recommended the vaccine for everyone.
They didn't mandate it.
Well, actually, even kids that were 18 or like in high school, like they couldn't play sports if they.
Dude, do you just like love saying incorrect things? Is that like your favorite thing to do?
No, I'm not. Okay,
but also, like, is it really complicated to know that children spread diseases? Like, my girlfriend is a substitute teacher. She gets sick like almost all the time now, and I get sick because of that. Right? Like, children spread diseases very quickly.
Yeah, children don't die from COVID.
Yeah, it's because they're going to spread it to their parents, their grandparents, and loved ones. Wow, dude, use your brain.
We should give medicine.
It's like this guy doesn't have the capacity to think past. Wait, dude, you seriously don't have the capacity to think past basic misinformation on the internet. This is why misinformation is so prevalent. Because you can't fucking think, Dylan. Because you literally can't think.
What about
myocarditis? You can't do it.
Bud?
Literally, Dylan.
Myocarditis.
Why can't you do basic thinking?
I can. I'm using.
You're not.
Okay, 1,600. People 17 and under died of COVID, allegedly. And by the way,
allegedly? Are you really saying allegedly, Dylan? Are you? No, fuck you. Don't sit up on my live and say allegedly. Fuck you, dude. Actually, that is such bullshit. What do you fucking mean allegedly?
I was actually gonna elaborate, but you just interrupted and insulted me.
Answer the question. What do you mean by allegedly? I don't give a shit if you think I'm a good person. You're an idiot.
Let me elaborate.
You make our country worse.
So, first of all, do you know why? Because if a person has a pre-existing condition, like cancer or some like terminal illness, and they happen to have COVID as well, they are still counted in the death total. Do you know that?
Yes, because they are. Like, for example, my grandma had dementia, but what caused her to die was COVID. She wouldn't have died if she never got COVID in the first place. Because she had dementia, she would have died in the future. She wouldn't have died at that moment. She would have died in the future. So she still died because of COVID.
No.
What do you mean no? What do you mean no? You're gonna sit? Are you really?
Even if COVID isn't
Dylan,
the main.
Dylan, do you hear yourself right now? You're really right now telling me that my grandma didn't die because of COVID when the thing that caused her to die was COVID.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you're telling me right now. Because she had a terminal illness.
Can you stop talking over me and yelling and insulting me?
Can you respond to what I'm saying then? The reason why I'm responding this way is because you just said that my grandma who died from COVID didn't die from COVID.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you're arguing right now. So give me an actual response.
I said that.
Then clarify.
For someone to be counting the death total of COVID, COVID doesn't even have to be the main factor in causing death. It can just be a minimal like side factor, and they're still counted.
It is a main factor in that context because it caused.
Okay, yeah, but
that's a main cause of death.
In all of the death total, still, you can still be counted if it's a minimal factor.
What do you mean by a minimal factor? What does that even mean?
Like if it's not the main factor, if there's another factor that
No,
actually
it is one of the main factors. It's listed. If it's
if you died from cancer and
if you have COVID,
as
but it
well,
wasn't your cause
you
of
would
death,
still
it is
be
not
counted
listed in the
death
cause of
total.
death.
No, it is actually. In the
No, it's
CDC,
not.
this is true. Yes, it is. It is.
No,
You're
it's
wrong.
not. You're lying.
If you were no, it's not listed in the cause of death. It's listed in the
That
COVID
you just
death
conceded.
total. It's listed in the COVID death total, so I didn't concede.
No, it's
actually.
not.
It is. You can look this
No,
up.
it's not.
It is. It
I
is.
promise you it's not. They separated the data between those
I
that
hope
died
you're
with
ready to concede. I
COVID
hope
in their
you're ready
system
to
versus
admit
those that
no.
died from COVID.
It's
Dude,
labeled different.
Let me just let you know. One, my mom's a nurse, right? She was a nurse, very familiar with the hospital. My dad's a doctor, right? Very familiar with the hospital. My dad literally almost died because of COVID. I talked literally almost every single day about vaccines and masks and literally how they're effective every single day. I know what I'm talking about here. Don't fucking
Cloth
delegitimize
masks
that.
are
I know
not effective.
everything I'm saying right now. You can look into it and you can go search it up yourself. Everything I'm saying right now is true.
No, because can you let me speak? So there are two categories when you consider the COVID death total in medicine. So it's person whose primary cause of death was COVID, and then there's a person who died with COVID.
Yes,
Both of
there you
them.
go. With
Both
COVID
of
versus
them are
from
counted in the
COVID.
total death
Oh my
total.
God. It's like if he listened to me, he would hear it. With COVID versus from COVID. Do you know the distinction? The CDC
Yeah, but they're
actually
both
made that
counted in the
distinction
COVID
for
death
you.
total. They're both counted in the COVID death total.
No, they're
with
not.
COVID. Yes, they are. You can look it up.
No, they're not, because the COVID death total that you're referencing is not just those that died with COVID, but those that died from COVID.
It's including both categories.
No, it's not.
It is.
No,
You're
it's
wrong.
not. You're such a liar.
You're wrong. You're literally wrong.
No, the data number that they give is the died from COVID, not with COVID.
No, and
the died with
with
COVID in their
They
system is a
combine it.
lot higher of a number because of how many
No,
people
it's
died.
not.
Like
It's
for example,
included.
how many? No, so you're saying people who died in car accidents who had COVID in their system, they were included.
That's different because
They died with COVID in their system.
Is not a natural cause.
But they
People
died
that
with-
in a hospital of natural
Hey,
causes.
Dylan, they died with COVID in their system.
Yeah, you're gonna mute me. So
Yes, I am.
No, because
They
not-
died with
of
COVID in their
natural
system.
Causes of natural causes. If they had COVID, if they died with COVID, it's still counted the death total.
No, it didn't. People who died in car accidents with
Car
COVID in their
accident is not a
system
natural
did
cause.
not. Dude, this
Are
this
you
is a
stupid?
whole thing during the pandemic. This
A
was
car
a whole
accident's not
thing.
a natural cause, buddy.
I had this conversation with how many
You can
people
look it up. I'm
during
right,
the pandemic.
but you're wrong.
I already
You're wrong.
have looked it up. Can you please just listen for a second?
No, you haven't.
Oh my God, dude. Yes, I have.
haven't.
Cosmic, think of
No,
being
you
right.
haven't. You haven't.
Really?
Do
you wanna bet?
I'm literally right. That's why. Because
Do you wanna bet?
With COVID and from COVID are both counted in the death total of
Okay.
people
Do you
who
wanna
died of
bet?
natural causes. Yeah, I'll bet $1 million. Actually, I'm right. And
No,
you
give
can
me an
concede
actual
later.
amount.
You can concede later.
Give me an actual amount.
I mean $1 million because I'm right. But fine, let's bet $100 then.
Okay.
If you really want an actual total.
Okay, so the number from the CDC
Look it
that
up
they
on
had.
Google. Look it up on
I
Google.
have. The number
No,
that they
you
had.
didn't. Show
the
it.
nu-
Show it
the-
on the screen.
I will. But the number that they specifically they gave us is died from COVID,
No.
not with COVID. That is the number
in
that the
total
CDC
death
would specifically highlight.
In
Yeah.
the total death total, it's with and from COVID. I hope you're ready to concede, by the way. Wait, I can't. I'm gonna make $100. That's crazy.
Dude, this guy's crazy.
Go. Let's go.
You're not gonna pay up.
Oh God, I'll pay up because I'm right, but you won't pay up probably.
Wait for it. Alrighty.
Already. Ready for my $100? Ready? Let's go.
Now, you want to make a point while I find this?
What do you mean? I've already made my point. You want me to just speak?
Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the CDC website. Haven't read the whole thing yet. Just gonna bring it up and show you. Okay, do you see deaths attributed to COVID-19 on death certificates? Do you see this? It says that in at least 67% of deaths, COVID-19 was listed as the underlying cause of death. For remaining deaths, COVID-19 was listed as a contributing cause of death.
Yeah,
Right?
that's with COVID.
Okay.
Hold on. Look it up on Google because you just proved my point already.
I'm on the
but-
CDC website.
Yeah, look it up on Google if people who died with COVID are also counted in the death total because that's the actual bet. Okay, and this still proves my point, by the way, because COVID.
No, because
when
what
it's
you'd
not
be
the
referencing
cause of
is
death.
Hey, let me explain this
It's
to you.
still
So
cause.
what you're referencing is excess deaths. Okay, they did not consider all excess deaths, right? Specifically, and individuals that just had COVID. It was those with COVID. What you're
Yo,
looking
can I
at.
have my $100? You just proved me right, bro. Because people who
No,
didn't die
I said it.
from
I said it was
COVID
people
died with
from COVID. Not. Let me
are
explain.
still counted.
Let me explain.
Give
So
me my
pe-
$100. Give me my $100.
That's not what I said. You're looking at the Google AI, and you're saying because I looked at the Google AI, and you're making a determination and conclusion from the Google AI, you think that that's a legitimate source. That's not a source.
Bro,
You have
he's
to
not
look
paying
at.
up. He's not paying up. Wow.
You have to look at the CDC, which, by the way, I'm showing you the CDC right now. You just need to be quiet because you're not actually like engaging with what I'm saying right now.
Look it up on
You're
Google.
just
Everyone's saying Google's not a source because they're brainwashed. It is a source, but
no, it's not. Google's a search engine. So if you look at the screen, take a look.
Google AIs can research, buddy.
You take a look at the screen. You understand that we're looking at the CDC website right now, and they specifically tell you.
Yeah. Let me see. Can you zoom in where it is? Because it already said people who died of another cause with COVID are still counting the death total. So can you give me $100, please?
You did not get $100.
Yes, I did actually, because people who did not die from COVID but died
I'd
with
explain
COVID
it.
are
Deaths
natural
deaths
causes.
attributed to COVID-19 on death certificates.
Here, go to 2021, please, or like 2022.
Clicking on 2021.
2022.
In at least 90% of these cases, COVID-19 was listed as the underlying cause of death. For the remaining, COVID-19 is listed as a contributing cause of death.
Hold on, can you?
This is like
actually
this
see
is.
what
By the
said?
way, I
Because
just want to
that
clarify.
already proves me right.
This right here is literally proof that I'm right.
No, it proves that I'm right because people who died
I don't
with
understand
COVID
how you would.
of natural causes.
So
but
then
not
why does it say it listed as a contributing cause of death and it's not listed in this number?
Because it's.
Do you see how it literally says it's counted separately? Like you
It says
can't.
contributed cause of death.
Dude,
because
can you read,
there's no
bro?
way to know how much
Can
it
you read,
caused.
bro? Can you read, bro?
Yes, I know.
Read it.
It said it's listed as contributing cause of death, not the main cause. So they died with COVID, but they want to say contributing because
Yeah,
they
but
don't
not
know
from
the actual
COVID.
effect it had.
They died with COVID, not
Are
from
you
COVID.
scamming me? Give me my $100.
Dude, this guy's actually like the dumbest person I've ever talked to. Look at this
Give me
screen.
my $100.
It says in at least 90% of these deaths, COVID-19
And
was
go to
listed as the
Google.
underlying
Go to Google
cause.
too. Because there's
Dylan, it says in at least 90% of these cases, COVID-19 was listed as the underlying cause of death. For the remaining deaths, COVID-19 was listed as a contributing cause of death.
Do you know what that
So
means?
what you're not
It means
understanding.
it wasn't the main cause of death. It
So what
means
you're
they
not
died with
understanding is
COVID.
that
They
this
don't
is
wanna
right
say
here
how
is.
much it
Hey,
caused
Dylan,
death.
Dylan. This right here is telling you.
You owe me $100, bro. Give me $100.
You just saying that you owe me is actually so absurd. Like you literally owe me $100. Like I just want to clarify, and I'm explaining to you right now. You just saying that I owe you is not evidence that I owe you. I'm explaining to you
owe
right
me.
now that what this says on the CDC website is that not all of them are listed under that particular death number.
Can you look it up on Google? Because you're on the same website, okay? Please look it
I
up. on
already
Google.
did. That's on CDC,
Just look it
dude.
up on Google AI, please, okay?
Google AI. Do you see this guy,
Yes,
bro? You're
yes,
embarrassing
yes.
yourself, dude.
Yes. No,
You're
I'm
literally
not.
embarrassing yourself.
No, I'm not. Because you don't think AI can research, bro? I mean, what's wrong with you? You owe me $100.
No, you actually owe me $100. Pay up.
No.
I
because
literally I sat down and
people
I
who
just
died with
explained to you how
COVID-
you're wrong.
What I said is people who died with COVID and it wasn't the actual cause of death are still listed.
So no, you said that the cause of the death number listed everyone, including those that died with COVID and those that died from COVID, which would also include individuals
No,
that,
I
say, for
didn't say
example,
that-
had COVID in their system and died in a car accident. I told you no, that's
No.
not true because
I refuted that claim.
I actually refuted your claim by showing you that not all of them were listed as the underlying cause of
Wait,
death
can I
and
talk
just
about
as
the
a
car accident?
contributing. Right, and like I just want to clarify, like you're just like embarrassing yourself repeatedly, Dylan.
No,
you owe me
I'm not.
$100.
Oh
And
my
Dylan,
God,
because
bro.
you owe me $100, I'm going to sit here and thank people until you acknowledge this. So the Green, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Said if a cancer patient got COVID and died, they might not have died if they didn't have cancer because they did. They were more susceptible. People do not understand or interpret research. Yeah, they have no clue.
God, bro,
Fruit
you
Punch,
owe me
thank you so much for the
$100. What I
$5.
said
Thank you
is
very
if
much,
they
Fruit
died of
Punch.
natural cause-
Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. Give some W's for them in the comment section right now. He's literally throwing a tantrum because I'm providing a legitimate source, right? Quinn, thank you so much for the $5.
You
Thank you
look
very
up
much.
Google AI.
I always have. I think it's really, really important. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the Green again. Thank you for the $20. They said as an NP. who's worked in palliative care during the height of COVID, people who try to speak about things they have known nothing about, enrage me. Literally every single nurse tells me the exact same thing. It's crazy. That's exactly why I did what I did during the pandemic. I thought it was so fucking important because of just the amount of sheer misinformation that was being spread. Gwoops, thank you so much for the $200 on YouTube Super Chat. Holy shit, Dylan, can you thank Gwoops for the $200? G-Hoops, thank you so much for the $200 for doing the Lord's work. It's wild how many Trumpers act like Trump's nominees / appointees. They can't answer direct questions. Just joined today. Most of us have given up trying to save these people from the cult. Respect for sticking with it. Well, thank you so much, J-Hoops. Thank you, or G-Hoops. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give the W's for them in the comment section right now. As well as JL, thank you so much for the 50 pounds. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. They said, hey, Parker, I come from a country being led by a corrupt pro-Russian government. We are in the laughingstock of the whole EU. Your talks make me think that we would deeply benefit from the same kind of content about our country politics. Big thanks. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope that there are people specifically that do the same thing that I'm doing within your country as well. That would be very fantastic. Now, Dylan, I want you to listen to this real quick. Listen to this real quick. This is going to be really funny.
I looked it up. I'm right, actually.
No, you're not.
Do you want to see what it says?
No, so Parker, I went
Who's
on
this?
there and I looked at his Google AI thing. So, Dylan, the Google AI will pull from certain various sources. It links the sources. You didn't read the source. It's citing a study. It's citing a study from 2020 from the UK. It's talking about the National Health Service.
Who is this, bro?
And how they
Who
did
is this
it.
bozo? Who is
I'm a
this guy, bro?
librarian who would give you a fucking F if
I'm
you were in my
right.
class because
Right
you
again.
fucking failed, dude.
You're just
You
proving me right
failed.
again. Do you want to see what it says? Here,
I
can
looked it up. I looked up and I read exactly. If you
Dog,
look at
you're
the
a bozo,
source,
bro. Shut
if
up.
you look at the source that it's pulling from, it's citing a study from 2020 out of the UK.
Hey, buddy, what's so funny? Can you let
Give me
speak?
my $100. Where's my $100, bro? Dylan, give me my
Can you let me
$100,
speak?
brother.
Can you let me speak? Can you let me speak?
Yeah.
Okay, can you mute that guy, please?
He's not even talking.
Hey, let me speak. So, can I outline the original terms of the bet? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I said is that people who died of a terminal illness but had COVID in their system of natural causes, and they still died natural causes, not a car accident. That's ridiculous.
Wait. Now he's changing. He's changing this. He's changing it. You actually said.
Also, never said it.
Do you want me to go back in the
Bro,
clip
what?
and play the part of the clip where specifically you did concede to that point where you think that people were counted if they just had it within their system? Right, specifically if they died in a car accident?
God, I never said that. I said the
wait, on
opposite.
everything we had that conversation, and you can watch it back on YouTube later when everyone's laughing at you in the comment
I
section.
never said that, and
You'll
have to
see.
give me my $100
You'll see that
because
would
you're
be
a liar,
perpetuated. Wait. We can go back. We can listen and we can play it.
Because this guy's a scammer.
This guy's so dishonest.
Died
With
of
COVID in their
natural
system.
Of natural causes. If they had COVID, if they died with COVID, it still counted the death total.
No, it didn't. People who died in car accidents with
Car
COVID in their
accident is not
system
natural
did
cause.
not. Dude, this
Are you
is a
stupid?
whole thing during the
so I'm
pandemic.
right.
This
Car
is a whole
accident's
thing.
not a
Oh,
natural
so
you just proved me right.
I had this conversation with
Hey,
how many
you can look
people
it up. I'm
during
right,
the pandemic.
but you're wrong.
I already
You're wrong.
have looked it up. Can you please just listen? Can you please just listen for a second?
No, you haven't.
Oh my god, dude. Yes, I have.
haven't.
Cosmic, think
No,
of
you
the
haven't. You haven't.
Really?
Do
you wanna bet?
I'm literally right. That's why. Because
Do you wanna bet?
With COVID and from COVID are both counted in the death total of
Okay.
people
Do
who
you
died
wanna
of
bet?
natural causes. Yeah, I'll bet $1 million. Actually, I'm right. And
No,
you
give
can
me an
concede
actual
later.
amount.
You can concede later.
Give me an actual amount.
I mean $1 million because I'm right. But fine, let's bet $100 then.
Okay.
If you really want an actual total.
Okay, so the number from the CDC
Look it
that
up
they
on
had.
Google. Look it up on Google.
I have. The number
No,
that they
you
had.
didn't. Show
the
it.
nu-
Show it
the-
on the screen.
I will. But the number that they specifically they gave us is died from COVID,
No.
not with COVID. That is the
They-
number
in
that
the
the
total
CDC
death
would specifically highlight.
In
Yeah.
the total death total, it's with and from COVID. Yeah, of natural causes, which I specified before.
Wait, let me clarify. He says it's with and not from COVID. So what does that logically entail? If it's people that
I
died
already
with
specified
COVID,
that car accidents would
if
count.
it's people that died with COVID in their system, that does
You're so
include
dishonest.
individuals that died in car accidents
You're not even admitting
with
you're wrong.
COVID in their system. That's what with COVID means. He just doesn't know what he's saying. You're lost. You owe me $100,
Buddy,
Dylan.
Are you actually stupid?
Dude, every
Are you
single,
actually
you know what? I should just stop doing this in general. Every single Trump supporter is unwilling to pay when they lose. Unwilling,
No,
totally
do you know
100% unwilling.
Hey, Parker, when you
You're not going to pay me the $100 that you owe
Can
me.
you let me speak? Can you let me speak?
Are you going to pay me
when
my
you
$100?
ask me- when you ask here, let me speak and then I'll respond, okay?
And then
So
you'll pay me my
when
$100, right?
So when you asked me if someone who died in a car accident with COVID was counted in the death total, I said no. Okay? Because I specified that it's people who died of natural causes who had COVID in their system and exhibited symptoms of COVID, even if it wasn't the primary cause of death, they still were labeled as death by COVID.
No. They were labeled as death with COVID in their system.
Yeah, but that's still counting the total death total.
No, it doesn't, because the total death total was specifically
What?
people who died from COVID. Like the CDC the thing I just read off to you was specifically saying that in 90% of these cases, COVID-19 was listed as the underlying cause of death. For remaining cases, it was listed as a contributing cause of death. So you understand,
You know
right,
what
there's
contributing
difference.
cause of death means, right?
Yes, it is.
It means it's not the primary cause of death. They just exhibited symptoms of COVID, and they thus labeled them as died by COVID.
No,
but
no,
in
no.
reality, they
It
died of
means
another.
they had a primary disease, and then that COVID contributed to that disease, ultimately killing them. So that's why you
it
can list
didn't
it on there.
cause their death.
Yes,
it just
no.
contributed symptoms.
Dylan,
that
that's
doesn't
not
mean
what
it
I
actually
said.
caused their death. They
Dylan,
just
that's not what I said.
died with COVID because they
Having
died of
COVID
another cause.
having COVID that actually contributes to your death, meaning that it is in some part
Can
a
you
cause
shut?
of
Who
your
are
death.
you? Who are you? You're wrong.
I'm the guy screwing
I'm
you right
already
now. So
right.
that's
I'm
who it
already.
is.
I proved
So,
myself right
what-
so many times, bro.
No, you haven't. You cited
shut
Dylan.
your ass up,
Dylan,
bro.
I'm not joking. You were one of the dumbest people I talked
You
to.
have a speech impediment. Like, shut your ass up.
Google AI, and you didn't even look at the fucking source that is from the UK. I'm sorry, Dylan, but you
Buddy, I
cited
already
and you
proved my
admitted to
point.
using AI, and you didn't
Parker
look at
was
the source.
dishonest. He said, "Hey, Parker, can you at least admit you're wrong about this, okay? Because you're not going to pay up. You're a scammer." You said that I said that people who died with COVID but from a car accident were still counted. I never said that, right?
No, I specifically was saying that you were claiming that people specifically who died with COVID in their system were counted, and that would logically entail that then people specifically who died in car accidents
wouldn't, because
would
I
be listed
specified
in the
that-
data of the total
I
deaths.
specified that it's
because
of
you
natural
specified
causes.
Well, okay, so you said with COVID in their system. So, and even
With
so,
COVID
that
in their system, if they died of natural causes.
yeah, but even so,
what
you
I'm
understand
saying.
that, like, so for example, you think if someone had a heart attack, right, but they just had COVID within their system, that they were counted within it?
Yes, because if they exhibited symptoms, if the doctors knew they had COVID, by the way, that's why that a lot of people had COVID, but
It wouldn't
weren't
even,
labeled.
it wouldn't even be listed as a contributing cause of death.
Yes.
Can you let me
That's-
speak? Can you let me
that's the
speak?
key
Can you let
word
me
there.
speak? Can you let me speak, please? Can you let me speak? Can you let me speak?
Yeah.
So, if the only way a doctor knows you have COVID is if you exhibit symptoms. That's why CDC actually estimates far more people got COVID than have been diagnosed. Okay? So that's why if you exhibited symptoms of COVID, they said it was a contributing cause of death no matter what you actually died of. Give me your $100, bro.
No, it was not considered a contributing cause of death regardless, right? It had to either
Yeah,
be
if you died natural
contributing
causes,
or it
yes.
had to be a direct cause in order for it to be listed under the cause of death.
Buddy, I already proved myself right.
No, you didn't. You cited Google AI that if you clicked on the source proved you wrong.
Oh my god, bro. It's
You
so
literally
insane that
literally
aren't
don't even
admitting
realize that you owe me
what I said.
$100.
Hey, do you even know what the original bet was? Because I don't even think you know.
I
Because
just
you're
played
like-
it for you. I literally just played the audio of us
Say
making
it
the
right
bet.
now. Say it right now. What was the original bet?
Yeah, the bet originally was that the death number that was specifically referenced, right, in the United States was specifically died from COVID, not just with COVID in their system.
So what was my bet? What would it have taken for
Your
me?
bet was you were claiming, oh, the number that the CDC was giving out was just those that died with COVID in their system.
I said not in car accidents or cases like that.
Even if you apply that extra context, you're still wrong.
No, I'm actually right.
Dylan, you're wrong no
If they
matter what.
if they had
Dylan,
symptoms of COVID,
No,
This
that's
guy.
how doctors knew they had
Dylan,
COVID.
you're wrong no matter
You're
what.
such
because
an
the,
idiot, bro. Who is
because
this
the
guy?
evidence.
Who is this guy?
Oh my God, Dylan, just man.
Bro, who
You're
is...
wrong no matter what because the source that you
Bro,
use.
you're
you
actually such a
admitted-
loser, bro. Like, shut up.
Matt, don't be quiet. Keep proving him wrong.
I know, it's fine.
Yeah, good boy. Be quiet.
Listen. You are automatically wrong because you cited a source that automatically proved you wrong because it's from the UK. And you use Google AI anyway, which fine, you can use Google AI, but you didn't check the primary source, which means that your whole point is moot because you cited data that isn't even from the United States.
Wait, so because data's not from the United States, that means it doesn't
We're talking about the
count?
CDC here, not about the NHS.
Hold on, what? Because actually, data outside of the United States is just as valid. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, the NHS in early 2020 was looking at it
You
in
don't think
certain
that?
ways.
Because Parker disagrees with you. He's like...
No, because the NHS later on and went and changed their procedure. This was a very early study from very early in the pandemic, and they were looking at 200 patients. They didn't even look at all of them. They did a subset of 200 patients. And from there, they extrapolated how they were measuring it. Later on, the NHS actually clarified their methods, and they made it better in line with the CDC, which is you would have read in that had you looked at the study.
Dog, you're not even... It's actually insane how you're not admitting I'm right, Parker. Seriously, because I already said 5 million times. I already proved myself right 5 million times, literally.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
You've been proven
And
wrong
you're just gonna
repeatedly.
scam
You
me.
just
That's
can't
fine.
acknowledge it.
You were never gonna pay up, but
You literally
that's fine.
lost and you owe me money, and you're
No,
telling me to pay up.
Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
Dude, Dylan, this is gonna
Literally.
be on YouTube, and literally thousands
Here,
of
can I
people
show
are
you
gonna see
a-
you literally
Can you
get dog
type in
walked in this debate,
exact-
and then literally not being able to acknowledge you're wrong, even though you owe me
Can you
$100.
type in this exact prompt into Google? Okay. So wait.
You're
let me just
telling
pull
me
it
to
up,
go
'cause
look
I
at the
have it.
Google AI. Matt already did this.
No. Hold on. Just type in this exact prompt into Google.
Okay. Let me know when.
Type in, is it true that people who died with COVID but not from COVID are still listed in the total death count?
People who died with COVID,
But not from COVID.
but not from COVID, are counted in death toll.
Says yes.
The first source I click on, AAMC. It does not say what you're saying. Literally, the first source actually explains exactly what I'm saying. It literally explains how it lists as specifically died from COVID, not with COVID.
You type this in. Is it true that people who died with COVID but not of COVID are still listed in the total death count? You type
It's
that
on
in.
AAMC. That's what comes up first.
Can you type it into Google, please? That's what I asked.
You mean Google AI?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So wait, your source is Google AI.
Because it takes from all the sources and makes the best judgment,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay. So when you click on the source that the AI gives you, what does it say?
Can you type it into Google AI, please? Because we already did the other...
Do you see what I
your
mean?
picks.
His source is literally Google AI. Click on the source that Google AI gives you, dude. Holy shit. This guy does not know how to research. The AI has melted his brain.
Yes. It says yes, buddy.
So
It says
you're
I'm right.
Okay, dude. You're
Everyone's saying
embarrassing.
AI isn't the source, bro. They're all gonna look so bad like 100 years from now, bro. Oh my god. Embarrassing.
What
Your
are you
entire
talking about?
chat is like just brainwashed, bro. Like they're all...
You're brainwashed.
You guys are the people that contributed to Charlie Kirk's death, bro.
How?
Seriously. How? Because you dehumanized him and you...
How did I
said-
dehumanize Charlie Kirk?
There were all these videos put out, people on the left like you know. Remember that girl in Jubilee that said, I hope your daughter gets away from you, lives a very happy life away from you?
Yeah,
Stuff like
that had literally nothing to do with wishing his death because he was still alive
does.
in that video.
No, it dehumanizes him. It makes him seem like, oh, he's less than human, basically.
No, it doesn't. It says that she hopes that her daughter or his daughter gets away from him. Yeah, which could mean that he's alive and just that he's an oppressive dad. That's literally what it means. So you think that's like calling for his death, which is ridiculous.
You think he was an oppressive dad? You think he was an oppressive dad?
Yes, in that context, he's saying that he would want to force his kid that was raped to go through the context of a pregnancy against their will.
So a belief against abortion that like so many Americans hold, millions of Americans hold,
not so many Americans. That's actually like a very, very fringe view.
Millions of Americans agree with Charlie Kirk, but
okay, but millions of Americans can make up 1 to 2% of the population.
No, like tens of millions.
Okay, and that's still like less than 50% of the population, way less than 50. That's actually a fringe pro-life view.
You think like 10% of the American population is abusive and deserves to die?
I never said deserves to die. When did I say that? And do I think that there are abusive parents? Yes, there are abusive parents.
You think
I don't know what the
10%
percentage
of the American population is like oppressing their children, basically?
Yeah, I think it's oppressive to do that, but not every single one of those instances do they have a kid specifically in which has been assaulted that is pregnant that wants an abortion. So those conditions would have to be true. I'm saying it's oppressive to specifically advocate in that context. And she was saying, "Oh, I hope you get away. Your daughter gets away from you," given that she would be forced to go through those conditions, even though she doesn't want to. Nice pivot, though. But like, you just literally are saying that I caused the death of Charlie Kirk.
Nice pivot because you.
How did I cause How did I cause the death of Charlie Kirk?
Because you would like mock him, make fun of him.
What did I say in mocking him that caused his death?
Why don't we pull up the Jubilee video? I mean, you've definitely said stuff like that.
Yeah, what did I say?
I don't have it off the top of my head.
That I was beating him in a debate? Yeah, Parker saying he was beating him in a debate caused his death,
Also, you did not
right?
beat him in the debate.
I did beat him in a debate. I did beat him in a debate.
Were making fun of you because you were speaking like a million words a minute.
Oh, there were because I like how none of them actually criticized what I said and instead criticized how I said it.
No, because you were trying to look smart and nothing you said was actually.
It's not me trying to look smart. It's me trying to not be interrupted by him.
Wait, but you were interrupting him, so.
Well, you understand that it's because of the fact that I'm trying to control the dialogue and he was interrupting me, right? You understand I'm trying to get out as many words as I can so that that's literally within the book so that people can hear those points. Because I know that he's going to try to control the conversation.
You don't think you've ever like mocked Charlie Kirk before?
Not in a manner in which contributed to his death.
Okay, so you agree some mocking contributed to his death, right?
No, I don't think any of my mocking contributed to his death.
But some. Like,
I absolutely beat him in the debate. I absolutely mogged him. You're just mad about it.
I mean, I don't know. Mogged him?
Yeah, I mogged him.
That's an opinion, but
I 100% mogged him. What are you talking about?
Okay, well that's like that aside, that's not even related to what we're discussing, bro. So
you're just mad. You decided to bring it up. You literally just randomly brought up that information because you were trying to pivot away from the fact that you owe me $100.
I never brought up mogging.
Yeah, you did. You literally said the reason. Well, you said I contributed to Charlie Kirk's death. Yeah,
mocking.
Yeah,
not mogging.
Wait, you brought up mogging as well.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, you were like, I absolutely beat Charlie Kirk in that debate and mogged him for no reason. Because you want to boost your own ego because you're arrogant, but
I'm just literally making fun of you, bro. And you're just mad.
I'm not mad. How am I mad? I'm mad that you're scamming me.
How am I scamming you?
Because
you owe me $100. You literally owe me $100.
People who did not die of COVID, and like they died of another cause, but had COVID.
Your source is Google AI, sir. Click on the sources.
Okay, so you're just not going to trust my source then, right?
Your source is the AI. You have to click on the sources the AI gives, genius.
No,
and you know what's crazy? The source that your AI gives literally sources the same fucking thing that I mentioned that proves you wrong.
Yo, I want a cut of one of those super chats because like you owe me $100.
Are you really begging for a cut of a super? No. What are you talking about? Go fuck yourself, Dylan.
You're scamming me.
Go fuck yourself. Heather, thank you so much for the $1. Thank you for the $1. That's not going to the guest at all. Thank you so much. Mark, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you so much for the donation that's not going to the guest. Christoph, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $7 for the money that's not going to the guest. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is absolutely insane that so many people dispute that. It's fucking crazy. Thank you so much. Put some W's for them in the comment section right now.
God. It's not crazy because I was right. People who die with COVID, but not
You were
from
wrong.
COVID,
You got
were still
you
counted.
got
Still
mocked, bro.
counted.
You were wrong.
No, people who died with COVID, but not from COVID.
G
were
Hoops,
still
thank you for the
counted.
$20. Thank you very much for sending it directly to me. Thank you so much. Remember when Dylan wanted to bet 1 million? Yeah, he'd owe me $1 million.
No, I wouldn't because you would actually owe me $1 million. I was
No, dude, I literally proved you wrong, my guy.
No, because you okay. Even if you accept contributing cause of death, that's not the cause of death. That's literally they died of something else and they had COVID, and they still were counted.
Wait, so
They
it's
died of something else.
it's a contributing cause of death.
You don't understand the context of what that means in medicine.
I do.
Because it means that they had symptoms of COVID. It doesn't mean it was the real cause of death. They just have to label it the cause of death because it could have likely contributed. It could have. So they have to.
So no, it likely contributed it. So that's going to be a contributing cause of death. That's not just
they
with
don't-
the COVID in your
they don't
system.
know
So
that. They have to say it contributed because they exhibited symptoms.
okay, like for example, let me give you an example. Let's say someone had a particular condition that causes seizures. Let's say that they had COVID, and they had a seizure that caused them to die. Would it be deemed as a contributing cause of death in that scenario?
If they were like hospitalized and they exhibited symptoms of COVID,
They were not
yeah, it would be-
hospitalized because of COVID.
Well, how would the doctors know they had COVID to begin with?
They just they tested
You know
them
how
after.
they diagnose people with COVID in hospitals?
They
They look at the symptoms.
Yeah,
they don't do a
tested
test.
they
No,
te-
no, they
I'm
look
giving
at
you
the
a scenario
symptoms.
where they test after they died.
They don't have time to test everyone. They look at the symptoms. You understand that, right?
I'm giving
That's
a scenario where
literally
they
what do in
did, sir.
hospitals. Well, this is a made-up scenario. So
Obviously,
how
so
is
that
it
you
a-
can engage with it.
Yeah, because they wouldn't actually just say they had COVID because they took a CVS test. Like they would need to look at the symptoms.
Okay. Do you want to engage with this?
I just did. I just
You're,
said
you're not.
Yeah, I already said they would be labeled as counted in the death toll if they died of the seizure, but they had COVID symptoms.
Okay. So again, no, not in all these circumstances where specifically people just have something else, and they also have COVID where they counted. Just because someone had COVID within their system does not mean that they were counted, right? Even if you consider it a natural cause of death, it still would not be considered the contributing or a cause of death in this scenario, like the primary cause of death.
No, it would
So-
actually. If they had symptoms, it would, and that's how they do it. So I mean, I'm right still, but you can scam me all you want.
You're the one literally wrong,
No,
right?
you
And
can
every
scam me.
single person working in medicine has said you're wrong, right? The
Wait,
own
wait,
source
what?
that you cited said you were
Okay,
wrong.
now you're just lying. You think every single person in medicine has listened to this
Yeah,
conversation? Said I'm
I said
wrong?
every single person that I've seen that works in medicine does say that you're wrong, like in the chat.
In the chat. Oh, so you know these people in the chat?
Yes, I
that
do
work
know.
in
I do
medicine?
know people who are working in medicine in the chat. Yes.
I feel like a lot of them were probably lying, honestly, because they're in
Okay,
the
so
chat
now you're
in
just gonna.
English.
So here's my
How
point.
do you know they're
there's
working
no
in medicine? You don't
there's
have
no
credentials.
benefit of continuing to engage in this conversation with you because you are unwilling to acknowledge that you are wrong when we have proven that you are wrong already.
Acknowledge that people who died with COVID but not from
Dylan,
COVID
I've already
will
proved you
still
wrong,
count.
and all you've
No, I
done is
already
sit up
did.
here and deny it and to not to give me an argument against it. You literally can either choose to concede right now or you can leave the live. It's up to you because at this point it's absurd.
No,
We've
give me my
already
100
proven
bucks,
you
bro.
wrong.
You're such a cornball, bro. Give me my $100.
You owe me $100, and you're trying
No,
to you're trying to push it onto
I'm
me
not-
to say that
Why would I concede that I'm wrong when you literally
when I'm
didn't
right because you're
Google
wrong.
my question? You didn't acknowledge. You lied about me saying that people who died in a car crash with COVID that I said that was counted. You lied about me there. Why would I concede that I'm wrong when you've lied repeatedly and done all this?
So I can give you
And I'm
countless
right.
examples. Even the AI that you actually like typed into, if you click on it, it says that I'm right. If you actually click on the sources, but you don't want to read, you have a lack of an
what
ability
does
to
the AI
actually
say? It
engage
says
in
I'm right.
comprehension. right? You have the inability. If you click on
Can-
one of the
wait,
sources,
can you
actually,
admit that you
one of the
lied
sources
about
that it provides
me?
is KFF News, which, by the way, says within it that experts said that it is unfounded to say that people who died just with COVID in their system are counted.
Hold on. That's not that people who died with COVID in their symptom aren't always known to have COVID. It's the people who died with COVID labeled by doctors as died with COVID are still counted in the total death toll.
So I just want to clarify. Even the source that you just mentioned proves you wrong, and yet you're not even willing to acknowledge that you're wrong.
You're not even looking it up, bud.
I am.
So-
I'm literally
Can
on
you at least
KF.
admit you lied about me
No, can you
saying
shut the
people
fuck
who
up and
died in
listen
car
for a second?
crashes
You know that there are
died of
autopsies. He
COVID?
just doesn't know that there are autopsies, by the way.
Yeah,
But if you click on the
you lied
actual
about what I
link,
said. You
KFF
lied
News, it
about what I
literally
said.
tells you specifically, right, that it is specifically that experts have responded to this and said both most public health experts agree that COVID-19 specifically it references people who have been caused to have died from that scenario, not just who died with COVID. Because there is the point that it claims that Trump's claim that those who died with COVID had led to an inflation of the numbers.
Yeah, because I typed in his exact sentence, what he said, his exact sentence, and the second bullet point, it says, while some people have pre-existing conditions, COVID-19 was often the underlying cause, not just a bystander.
Wait, what does the first bullet point say?
It is false. It says death certificate guidance. Guidance states
Sounds
that
like you're
COVID-19 should be
cherry picking.
listed in it. No, that first link, which Parker gave you, which again, you have to look at the sources, the AAMC link that it says it's from 2020 and 2021. These are outdated sources. This is not how it's being used currently, which is why the AI is not good, because it doesn't pull recent facts. It pulls facts
Oh,
based
so
on
your
a fan
proof is the
query
AI isn't
about
good.
how.
Got it.
No, the AI is not good. It uses Gemini 3, which is not good because it pulls from the only that top layer, not from the deep ones.
Yeah, I don't even know who you are, bro. Just
Yeah, he's Matt. He's one of my good friends. He's a librarian. And just because you don't know who he is doesn't mean you shouldn't respond to what he said. Why do you keep bringing that up to not respond to what he's saying?
because you didn't acknowledge.
Dylan, I don't know who the fuck you are. No one in this chat knows who the fuck you are. They know who Matt is. They have no fucking clue who you are. Okay? So this whole bullshit of you being like, I don't fucking know who you are, is not a reason to not engage with what he's saying at all. Because
you're
literally
trying to
no
be
one knows who the fuck you are, Dylan.
You're trying to
No one
2v1
knows
me.
who you are at all.
Yeah, you're trying to 2v1 me, but okay.
Dude, I'm bringing him up to give you more information because you're
And by
unwilling
the
to listen
way,
to me.
Dylan, the reason why
Thank
I
the
have
helmet.
authority on this is because I teach AI stuff to college students. It's part of my job profile. This is what I do. So this
Exactly.
is why I came in and I looked at your sources, because when I teach students and I have them do homework on this, and if they did what you did, as I said, I would give them an F because they didn't look at the primary source from which the AI is pulling from, which is what you didn't do. That's why I have authority to actually be able to talk on this. Not because I'm just some rando up here, but every day I answer questions and I work with AI to help students know how to use it properly, which you clearly don't know how to do.
You'd get an F, Dylan. F!
Nah,
F for Dylan, everybody. Can we get an F for Dylan in the comment section, everybody? BF for respects for Dylan's lost
I got
brain
all A's,
cells.
buddy.
He has actually 0, so he zero lost because he had 0 in the first place. Actually, that's what I say.
Yo, what'd you get on that
F's in the
SAT,
chat
Parker?
to pay respects. Do his 0 brain cells, okay?
What'd you get on that SAT, Parker? Huh?
Unlimited.
Unlimited?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you lying?
Think of the confetti, because I'm not going to have that conversation with you.
So, but you just said, "Oh, you failed," but like,
You did.
I mean, I probably got a higher SAT score.
What'd you get in your SAT?
Like, well, you tell me first. I asked you first. and then
Nope,
I'll
I'm not
compare.
going to. So, either you can say it because you want to gloat, or I'm not going to say mine.
Let's just say I got over 1,500.
Do you want a cookie? You're still an idiot. You'd still get an F on basic research. And how many continents are there, Dylan?
7.
And what are they?
Antarctica, Oceania, Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, North America.
Okay. How many branches of government are there?
3.
What are they?
Executive, legislative, judicial.
What are the 2 main aspects of the legislative branch?
Senate, House of Representatives.
Okay. I'm surprised you actually got all of these.
How many members in the House?
Oh, he's not going to know that.
Oh, so isn't it like 412?
Nope, 435.
Yeah, 435.
435? Okay. So what? I mean, that's like just I was close anyway. So,
Are you going to ask your AI?
and it also changes, by the way, because the population increases. But you're good.
Okay, but it's 435. So cope.
435.
Yeah, sure, now I know,
It's
435.
been 435 for like 100 years.
What's your point? I
Yeah.
got all of your other. Why do you keep asking me questions then? Keep
He said
asking
it
me.
changes the population been 435 for 100
Yeah,
years.
it hasn't changed in the last like 100 years. So
Yeah, but keep asking me more questions, buddy.
I mean, I can. I've already proven.
Well, no, ask me more questions to like trivia. Cause
You want more trivia questions?
yeah.
How much money do you owe me? $100.
Negative 100, buddy.
$100.
Negative
$100. You owe me
Negative
$100. He owes me $100. Negative 100 for Dylan, actually. Negative 100 for Dylan, actually.
What is the capital of Nevada?
Is it Reno?
yeah,
No,
It's
Carson
Reno.
City.
It's Reno, isn't it?
no,
No, it's
actually,
Carson City.
I think it is Carson City. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Imagine.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Sad. You're right.
Sad, right? Yeah. Now you can keep asking. me
What's the
trivia.
capital of Iowa?
Des Moines.
It's Des Moines, bro. What the fuck? Des Moines?
It has an S.
But that doesn't mean you
whatever.
say the
French.
S.
It's
Des
French.
Moines.
It's Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Oh my
Great.
god, dude. What the
Still got
fuck?
it. Still got it. Still
That's
got it.
Des Moines.
Someone asked me the capital of Delaware in the chat.
Illinois. Illinois.
Yeah, I know. I'm from Illinois.
I'm from Illinois.
Do you know what the capital of Illinois is or no?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Springfield.
I was born there.
Okay. What's the capital of
capital-
Texas?
Austin.
Okay. All right. Oklahoma?
Oklahoma City.
Kansas?
Topeka.
Are you just looking at a map now? Montana?
No, I'm not. I'm literally not.
Montana?
Helena.
Okay, what about Alaska?
Juneau.
Florida?
Tallahassee.
Okay, you're totally looking it up. Bullshit. He's
Bro,
looking at a
I'm
map.
not.
I don't
swear
believe
to
him.
God, I'm not.
Rhode
I
Island.
swear on my life I'm not.
Rhode
On my
Island.
life, I'm not. Providence.
Okay, put your hand on the Bible
Yeah, I bet.
and say that you did not look them up.
On God, on my life, I did not look it up.
Oh,
Go into hell.
why don't we go like outside of the states? Name 2 of the 3 capitals of South Africa.
Isn't one Johannesburg or no?
No, that's the largest city.
Okay, well that's they have like that's ridiculous because you're not even
I said,
admitting
okay,
that.
name one.
He's
out
calling me
of
a
the 3.
liar when I got all of the like,
name
American
1 out of
capitals.
3.
Bro, can you just like stop, bro? I already got all of your questions. Like,
Okay. Do you want to ask me?
yeah, what's the capital of North Dakota?
Capital of North Dakota? That is.
You're looking it up. You're looking it up.
No, I'm not. I'm not looking anything up. What are you talking about? The capital of North Dakota is.
Oh, you're looking it up.
It's Bismarck.
Oh wow, was that like 15 seconds? Okay.
Hey, dude, I did that off the top of my head.
What's the capital of Maine? 3 seconds. Maine.
It is Augusta.
Okay, good. What about Vermont? 3, 2.
Montpelier.
Montpelier.
Yeah, as I said.
No,
Next, you want to do it again?
Yeah, ask me questions.
I'm waiting, dude. Trust me, I got this. I'm gonna get every
Okay,
single one.
What is the capital of let's see. I'm gonna do outside the US.
Okay.
What's the capital of Ireland?
Okay. Dublin.
Dublin's? It's Dublin. Come on.
Yeah, I said Dublin.
What is the capital of the Netherlands?
It is
These are
Amsterdam.
easy. Come on. What's the capital of Sweden?
It is Stockholm.
What's the capital of Norway?
It is Oslo.
Okay, now the last one, Finland.
That is I think it's Helsinki.
Helsinki.
I can't even say it. I can't even say it.
Helsinki, yeah.
Helsinki. Jesus Christ, dude! I accidentally I typed it in and it didn't even pull up for me. All right. Can we move back? Can you name a policy of Trump's that he influenced to get passed that you like? He left.
Oh, well, damn, okay.
Got him to leave immediately. Look at that one. Courtney, by the way, thank you for the $3. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, he owes me $100, by the way. I'm never getting my $100. At this point, I never get paid. I never do. Savannah, thank you so much for the $10.
No point in doing it anymore.
Yeah, like they always never pay up. You know, it's always something I can put in my YouTube title though.
Yeah. I think Libby for 15 also. Thank you, Libby. And thank you to
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, is my mic working this time?
Yes, it is working. We hear you now.
Oh, what a delight.
What a delight. What a delight. Here, let me thank some people over on YouTube. Then we can move on to our conversation. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. As always, Joe, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much, Joe. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section right now? That's great. DA, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that was brutal. I know, right? Exactly, DA. Mary, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. Oh, for foot's sake, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Peter, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate for 20 for you and 0 for the cult member. Well, thank you. Igor, thank you for the €5. Thank you very much. Sponge, thank you so much for the $5. Instant Noodle, thank you for the $2. Mary, thank you for the $5. Brand, thank you for the $2. I'm the Beard, thank you for the $5. Gavin with the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, though. So also Overfoot's thank you for the $5. Mary, thank you for the $2. And again, DA with the $5. Thank you very much. I do have some people to thank over on Venmo and PayPal, and then we can go on to the conversation. Dorinda, thank you so much for the for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Very true. All causes exactly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Because the W's for them in the comment section. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well. Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you for the $1 as well. I think I can. I'm not quite sure though. As well as Christoph. Thank you so much for the $7. Alrighty, Brian. Why do you support Trump? Hello? Brian, you there?
Yeah, I am here. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, so why do you support Trump?
Oh, okay. Well, cool. I appreciate it. Hey, I wanted to say two things. One, I appreciate that you had a debate with Dylan earlier and that, went seemingly okay until you guys got kind of derailed on some thoughts. But you seem like a pretty, how would I say this, intellectual guy. You're very quick on your feet. And so I want to give you respect for that. I do know that you debated Charlie Kirk in the past and that you've had some strong points and some strong opinions and you're very quick to know your facts. And so I don't necessarily have as wide a breadth of knowledge in regard to factual information as you do. But I can say I have some at least passionate feelings about why I support Trump and why I support what is going on with that. And so I just want to say thank you for your time as well. And I respect who you are as a debater. And so I hope that through this, you can respect that I'm debating this in good faith. And I hope you are too. But also, my intention behind any debate is to be able to change the mind of the person that I'm debating. And so I'm curious as to what your intention is behind a debate with me.
Yeah, so my intention is obviously partially to change the mind of the person I'm debating, but also partially to change the minds of the people who are listening, and to be able to give more information to those that are listening to use their arguments against other individuals that they would in a debate. So liberals gaining their knowledge and things like that, getting more people involved in politics, getting people to critically think more, I think that all of those things are goals from this. But in general, why do you support Trump?
I have 5 main points. There's a 6th point, but I don't necessarily agree with it totally. The first point would be economic strength, affordability. I think that Trump is, generally speaking, a successful businessman. I mean, when I was working in commodities as a young man, I found that he was excellent in the ideas he was bringing to the table in his book, The Art of the Deal. I read through that. I found it very insightful, especially in his second term. I mean, he's made a lot of changes regarding that suit his policies. Secondly, I would say immigration, border security, general domestic policy. The third reason would be national security and foreign policy. And then fourth would be like, how would I say this? Like fighting the deep state or like government reform would be one. And then probably like cultural and social issues. I tend to have an agreement with him, but when it comes to cultural and social issues, I lean more toward my bias with like a Christian moral framework involved. So it's kind of hard to say that any president or any one person perfectly encapsulates my worldview regarding cultural and social issues, or really any of these issues that we're talking about. But those would be my five main points. And then sixth, I think that he has a fun, like, feng shui style, and I like his general resilience to the various assassination attempts that have been on his life. And then also, like, the fact that he just can't be beat. So those are my reasons why I support him. What would you like to start off with?
Okay. I think that we could start off with the fighting the deep state. I think that everything that you would consider to be the deep state would actually be things that Donald Trump perpetuates to a greater extent. And I'm actually like quite curious what you even consider the deep state to be in the very first place.
I'm more so referencing like this stagnant, perpetuated bureaucracy that we've kind of established, I'd say, since like maybe 1890s, like, and more so in the 1950s, but something that's just politically biased that sways regarding whoever is in political power at the time. I just feel like we have a general bloat in the federal system, and that bleeds itself through to the state systems on a larger scale.
So even individuals,
and through that bloat, we've essentially created like deep-seated roots that don't necessarily remove themselves as easily as, say, like something that's changed in an election.
Okay. I'm trying to. Is it just like the people who are nonpartisan independents in the government? Is that the deep state?
Sure, you could argue that like elite institutions, like media, tech companies, federal agencies, elected and non-elected, like civilian leaders. But I mean, it doesn't always have to pertain to that. It could be like
So how is he fighting the deep state?
I'm sorry?
How is he fighting the deep state?
Well, I feel like he's doing a lot to identify, especially with like working hand in hand with the DOJ and the FBI and getting like these agencies to identify with the help of independent journalists to identify, and independent like agencies as well, not just journalists, but like independent agencies, military functions. He's generally like a bridge builder toward navigating what is the deep state, where are these seeds, and how do we dismantle them and break them and bring them into the light.
Yeah,
so that
he's navigating, addressing, and fighting the deep state. How is he fighting the deep state?
I mean, I don't have a specific answer to that. It's such a vague question, but it's a specific.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just clarify.
I don't have specific examples to show you.
Let me clarify. If it's a vague question, well, then what you said originally was vague. When you said that Trump was fighting the deep state, that was vague. Because if I ask you, what does it mean to fight the deep state, and you think that's a vague question, well, then that means that what you said was vague.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'll concede that. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you feel that Joe Biden or that any other president has done to fight the and I'm not trying to like pivot or well, whatever way you would else say that. But I'm just curious, like, how would you define that? Because I don't necessarily have perfect examples or like a method of saying that he uses to fight it. I would say that his work with Doge does well with that. I would say that his work with independent journalists does that. I would also say that his work with certain elected individuals does that. So, like specific examples, I'm not quite certain what you want more than that.
Doge is done, found nothing. They spent more on doing Doge than going against it.
Well, how do you say that Doge found nothing?
They didn't find anything that was more than what they spent. They thought they were going to find hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud every year. No, they didn't.
Okay, do you have anything that backs up that claim?
Yeah, they didn't establish that they found like that certain fraud with the itemized receipts. I think the max that they established was less than the amount they spent on the program, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so you're saying that Doge was ended because it was just inefficient?
Yeah, if it spends more on its own duties than it actually finds in fraud, that's inefficient.
Yes. Okay, valid. I mean, I don't necessarily have the numbers in front of me. I to the best of my knowledge, from what I understood of how this program was working, I was under the impression that it was significantly more efficient than it was wasteful. So this is new information to me and new knowledge to me.
No.
I
I support
what your source
reducing fraud, though, of course. That's from Doge themselves, based upon their own itemized receipts, because they had to go back on everything they claimed originally in terms of how much it was in the estimates that they provided.
Oh.
So that's directly from Doge.
Do you not think that the new fraud division is a good thing?
Well, I think it's good to go after fraud and try to look for fraud. I don't dispute there.
Oh,
I'm confused why they didn't look into the DOD at all.
Do you support Nick Shirley if you think it's good to go after fraud?
No, I do not support Nick Shirley.
But you think it's good to go after fraud, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's what he's doing. I think he's trying. I think he's creating a propaganda campaign. I don't think he's actually going after fraud.
Well, what makes you think that he's creating a propaganda campaign instead of going specifically after fraud?
Because he decides to go to Democratic areas, even though they have lower rates of fraud comparative to Republican areas such as Florida.
Who cares if they have a political bias or whether or not they have
if having a political bias is important.
Political bias, but he just
it does matter. Wait. If I was doing videos of fraud and I was only looking after Republican fraud, not looking at any Democratic fraud in any Democratic or blue state, only red states, you guys would get mad at that. Because you'd say it's politically biased. Propaganda.
No, we would appreciate the fact that like Republicans are being held accountable. And
no, you guys wouldn't.
You guys, you're immediately lumping me into being a Republican. I mean, I support Trump, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm a Republican.
Okay, but let me just clarify. Republicans in general would make this claim about me.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't necessarily think that you're exposing fraud.
Okay, I know I'm not. I said if I did. And I was doing it specifically just for Republican areas, they would call me politically biased.
Yeah, that's
right. And they would say that I'm a propagandist because I'm just trying to make Republicans look bad without even doing the same sort of criticisms of the Democrats.
The only reason why I'll grant that is because I think that politically speaking, people always have a tendency bias towards like whomever is in the limelight under the umbrella, quote unquote, like figuratively, so to speak. So that makes sense, right? And that's why, like, an independent like Charlie Kirk, for example, it generally gets lumped in with the Republican right-wing position.
He wasn't independent.
He was one of the most moderate individuals, like, from our time.
No, I disagree with you. I very much disagree with that. He was not independent. He was firmly right. If anything, he was to the right of the Republican Party.
As it is now or as it was then?
As it was both now and then.
Interesting. I highly disagree with you. I think that the Republican Party now is, especially considering the youth of today,
maybe you have in certain ways
right-leaning than it was back then.
Well, I still think he's further to the right of like the general movement, especially on things like abortion.
Well, yeah, Charlie Kirk was very anti-abortion. I know that. Do you support abortion?
Yeah, I definitely support legal access to abortion.
Okay. Interesting. Well, you still haven't like answered my question as to whether or not you support like draining the swamp and government reform, as to whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, as to whether or not we should be doing. I mean, this is one of the primary reasons why I support Trump. You just said like, what is this and why do you support him? And then like you haven't given me enough of a reason to shift my position, saying
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that in the conversation yet. We're still having
so
this
what
conversation. We're still going through your views.
what
Right?
other
Like I'm still
points
clarifying.
about the deep state do you think?
Can I finish?
Like,
So like let me just address that. So I do think it's important to go after fraud. I do think it's important to go after like these sort of things, but what you're not understanding is that Trump isn't actually draining the swamp. Trump is the swamp himself. Okay, he's made billions off the presidency. Your whole issue with the swamp in the first place is perpetuated by Trump to the greatest extent possible. Tell me everything that you dislike about the swamp, and then I'll show you how Trump does it to the greatest extent possible.
I mean, that's a huge claim. I think that
Try it.
like it would depend on what you and I both unanimously define as the swamp. So what
Okay, yeah.
would you
So
define as the swamp?
just tell me what you think the swamp is, and I'll
Well,
tell
no,
you
no,
how
no,
Trump
let's
exemplifies
make it a
those
mutual thing,
characteristics
man.
to the greatest extent possible.
Give and take. What do you think is the swamp?
We're not giving taking. I'm asking you a question, and you're responding to it right now. Okay.
Okay.
You're not going to shift the burden to me. I'm asking you a question. If you want to ask me a question after, you can, but you're going to respond to my question first.
Okay. Would you repeat your question?
You don't remember it?
Your position, if I remember correctly, was that you want me to clarify what the swamp is.
Yeah, you have to know. You have to first tell me what the swamp is in order to argue specifically what those characteristics are to say that they're bad for Democrats and better for Trump. And I'm going to argue that Trump actually exemplifies those characteristics to the greatest extent possible. So, what do you consider the swamp?
Okay. I mean, I would say government agencies that are held unaccountable, generally bloated. They hold unaccounted for tax initiatives that don't necessarily reduce regulations, reform civil service, or like generally give funds and attention to very broad, vague, unexplored, unidentified policies and programs.
Okay, so the U.S. aid funding that you're particularly referencing, those are not vague, unidentified programs. Those are just things that they're...
necessarily U.S. aid.
Okay, so then what are you saying?
But I mean, there's a variety of different government allocations to these agencies, not just USAID.
Such as?
Yeah, this is where you and I have like a basic impasse at a debate level function. Is like, I don't have the information that you're requesting. I've generally heard it and acquired it, and then like some of it's in one ear out the other. Like
Okay.
through time.
So
At some
that's
point, I
understandable.
did know the exact agency that was paying what agency, but I mean, how can you expect me to retain all of that information instead of just the general idea of what's going on?
Well, like what vague, unidentified policies and programs? Because I could argue that's applicable to Doge.
Well, that was what Doge's objective was to do, was to find those vague, unaccounted for programs.
I don't think they did that,
get rid
though.
of them.
I don't think they did that. Secondly, the Department of Defense. Like, they have vast policies. Like, Trump wants to do $1.5 trillion per year in spending on the Department of Defense. I think that's vague, unidentified, and not very clear policies. His tax
Well, I think some
initiatives
of
didn't
that
make things
is
better. He
unidentified
imposed
with a
tariffs
purpose.
that increased taxes on every single American. Did you know that according to a Federal Reserve report, we'd be below pre-pandemic levels of inflation if Donald Trump never imposed tariffs in the first place?
We would be below pre-pandemic levels of inflation
Yes.
if Trump never introduced tariffs.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. That's granted, but we would have significantly less net revenue as a country. So
No, we wouldn't, because
does inflation
they have to pay
matter
back all
more
that
than
revenue.
the entire country's well-being? I don't know, man. You tell me.
Trump's overall bills have signed off on significantly more debt-related spending, over $4 trillion more in his first administration, and over $2 trillion since he's got in office.
Can you repeat that? I apologize.
Yeah, Trump did over 4 trillion more in terms of debt-related spending compared to the Democrats, and his first administration has done 2 trillion since he got in office as well. So 8 trillion
Yeah,
plus
okay.
2
So he's
trillion, that
spent
puts him
an
over 11
absolute ton of money.
or over 10.
I don't disagree with you that yeah, he definitely has spent a lot of money, but he's more than made up for it in
No,
regard
no,
to the
this
amount
is
of money that,
debt-related spending. So like this
Yeah.
isn't just the amount that he specifically just spent, and then he's making that up with revenue. No, this is
so
specifically
you're
the
saying
amount that
we have
he spent
more money
minus revenue.
on top of the debt.
Yeah, this is how much he spent minus revenue.
Okay, so like if this was your gross versus net, essentially, like if
Yeah,
you're doing
based
your
on
own
what he
taxes.
signed into law. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you not think that the initiatives or programs that he's put into place will reduce essentially the net after X number of years?
Say that one more time.
Do you not think that the initiatives that he's put into place, i.e., the initial cost of what they take to do these things, will reduce the debt after whatever X amount of years that those are supposed to be in place for?
No, I'm looking at the overall 10-year effect from these policies. So.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So if you look at the overall 10-year effect of his presidency,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
an
that
increase. That's the
You
increase in
think
the
so?
deficit. Yeah. That's not what I just think so. It's
interesting.
what the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget indicates, a bipartisan committee from the federal government.
So you're saying that he himself, as a president and through his presidency, is putting America and American citizens more in debt.
Yes, than the Democrats did.
Really?
By far, by almost double.
Okay. So then my question then would relate to you is, do you think that the American people have or had more of an ability to work and create an income for themselves previously under a Democratic president, or do you think that they've had more of an opportunity to create an income and pay off this debt under Trump's presidency?
I think under Biden's presidency at the very end was better because I think that GDP growth was better, real median wage growth was better. We could point to unemployment was better off. We had less inflation. And we were on track for that to go down, and interest rates would have come down more, so to make houses more affordable. So, yeah, we would have been way better off if Harris were in office.
Interesting. I would love to know your sources for that. And
the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, and the Bureau of Economic Analysis.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I want
I
to
got
these
you.
down. Because I actually want to look into the things that you're saying and look into them at a later date myself, not just like for this debate, but I want to just be generally educated on what you're talking about. Can you repeat those, please?
Yeah, look up Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's where you can find the inflation, the unemployment, the real median wage growth, real domestic manufacturing investment, all of those things that have been worse off since Trump got in office. In terms of the level of growth, and then also for the Bureau of Economic Analysis, you can find similar data there. That's basically the same. And then for the debt, it's Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
Wait, the Committee for a Responsible Budget.
For a Responsible Federal Budget, and then you just look up Biden v. Trump, and you'll see it.
Okay.
So Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, Biden v. Trump, and it'll come up first link.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and again, I don't necessarily have all the sources or the, and I'm not going to sit here and quote Google AI like Dylan did. No offense, but like, God bless
that
him.
was interesting, wasn't it?
The guy's got a good heart. You got to give it to him. I just dislike his $100 thing. That was a dumb hill to die on.
Yeah, that was a dumb hill to die on. Because the thing is, he could have just clicked on the source link of it, and it could have shown him that he was wrong on that.
Sure. I'm not really willing to make the concession to you that Trump is better or worse for these are your claims. I acknowledge that they are your claims, but I don't necessarily have the information in front of me to dispute them. And so can we move on to a different subject
Absolutely.
Of the positions I stated to you earlier as to why I support Trump?
Yeah, we can.
Cool.
So,
what would you prefer to talk about? Because I gave you 5 points.
Yeah. So we already talked about fighting the deep state. We talked about Doge and holding people accountable, the tax initiatives, vague unidentified policies. So we have a foreign policy, border security, immigration to go over.
Sure.
So,
Why don't we talk about national security and foreign policy? That seems like a relatively hot topic right
I'm going to
now.
hop off Parker, though.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on there.
appreciate you, Matt.
Take care, Matt.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Um, you want me to give an opening statement on his national security and foreign policy? Why I support that?
Yeah, or I can tell you why I disagree with it.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and tell me why you disagree with it?
Got you. I think that he's
Thank you.
destabilized relations that we've had with respected allies all around the world because of specifically him advocating to annex and invade and take over Greenland and Canada, which has destabilized relations with countries all around the world. The tariffs being imposed have destabilized relations with our countries, with countries that are allied with us all around the world. What's the evidence for this? Well, they're not helping us with Iran. MJ, thank you so much for the Galaxy. Thank you very much. Whereas under the Biden administration, they helped him with funding Ukraine, which is something he got the entirety of Europe to help defend. So we had significantly better allyships under Democratic administrations comparative to what we have now under Trump. He's made worse off conditions in terms of gas, right, and the economy because of the conditions in the war with Trump after claiming no new wars. So I think that he's done that while also meeting less objectives than what we've met under the JCPOA. So I think that we would have had better conditions if Democrats were in office for negotiations and for actually getting a deal done comparative to Trump being in office.
A deal for what?
A deal for limiting them from enriching uranium to the extent
In regard to
necessary to
Iran?
develop nuclear weapons. Yeah, Iran.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
It
So
was
then
at
specifically talking about
3.67%
Iran,
under
you don't
Obama.
necessarily. Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was just going to clarify. It was under 3.67% enriched uranium under the JCPOA. It's around 60% now.
And the JCPOA is what? Remind me.
The Obama agreement that he got with Iran to limit them from enriching uranium. We had unprecedented levels of surveillance over their nuclear enrichment facilities.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Thank you. I'm reminded of this. Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, those are all the basic points to start with.
Yeah, okay. So if I'm not wrong in just repeating your position back to you, generally you like what Biden had in regard to his foreign policy regarding Greenland, Canada. You don't like Trump's position regarding annexing and establishing a more militaristic control over Greenland and our relationship with Canada. You don't like the position that he's taken regarding the Russia-Ukraine war, and you don't like the fact that he has essentially eliminated our JCPOA agreement with Iran.
Yeah, those are just a few. I've countless more I can bring up, but I don't want to go too much into everything.
Okay, yeah. So usually, like regarding those three positions, I would say that I mean we've had a strong militaristic presence in Greenland for the past, I mean, almost 80 years, and it's always been a sect of national security interest for territorial reasons. And I
Agreed.
think that he's finally taken a strong position in the modern age, saying, "Hey, we actually need this for not only tactical reasons but strategic purposes as well." And it just makes sense for us to return to the original agreement that we had after World War II regarding Greenland and or during World War II. And that's actually a fairly democratic position for a Republican president to take, which is saying, hey, if you guys want to give it to us, we're willing to make a deal. And if you're not, then, no sweat. We still want to hold our military bases there. And I think that that's reasonable, right? But the way that he frames that in regard to his, wording on Twitter or whatever is stupid, sure. But regarding what's actually been done, he hasn't done anything other than make a couple of memes. In respect to your Ukraine position, I also think that it's a bit wishy-washy. It's not necessarily the best, but I support his position of it never would have happened if he wasn't abstained from being a president through his projected second term, and now that's second term is 2020. Well, yeah, I mean we're in it, so that point. But then regarding Iran and the current conflict, which is actually a registered conflict, I would say that I fully support him allying with the Iranian citizenry in wanting to help them liberate themselves from the Iranian regime. I don't necessarily support a terrorist regime demanding such unlivable conditions from its people, let alone massacring its people. So I think that what he's been doing regarding bombing military installations and threatening to bomb critical infrastructure has been an extremely effective tactic in getting them to um, like cede some of the things that they want to hold control over, and it's worked massively regarding sinking their navy and taking control over um, their airspace. That we are now able to have a more direct control and influence over the global economy and global market space by taking the cards that we were trying to give back to them, essentially, by saying you can control the Strait of Hormuz. Um, and then they instead turned around and started bombing civilian ships. And so we said, hey, no, don't do that. That's not okay. You can't just be a terrorist anyway. And so we stopped that, and now are the ones blockading and permitting particular boats in and out of that. So, I mean, all in all, I support his position with Iran from an America First perspective. I think that we should always be thinking about that. And it seems to me like you even as a Democrat hold an America First perspective too, which is odd. But that's not a dig against you or the Democrats. It's just not modern function, or at least the rhetoric. That's
Oh, it totally is. I mean, I think that we are actually America First, and I think that you guys portray yourself as America First, but seemingly don't actually uphold the values of America and what we should uphold.
Okay.
Are you done with explaining everything you wanted to explain, or should I wait?
Let's talk about the America First thing after this. But
Yeah, I want to respond to all of the things you brought up.
Please do.
Yeah. So the Russia-Ukraine war definitely still would have happened if Trump were in office.
Okay.
I would like to hear your argument for why you think it wouldn't have happened. I do want to respond to the other points first before we do ask that question, though.
Okay.
So I don't think that we're like liberating Iranians. Of course, I think the IRGC is oppressive, and I would hope that they aren't in power, of course. But I don't think that U.S. military intervention has historically led to better conditions within the Middle East in terms of quote-unquote liberation. I don't think it's actually historically been for liberation. It's historically been for oil companies and for defense contractors, not really for...
Yeah, we can agree that it's not been for liberation purposes in the past. You and I can both agree on that.
Yeah, it also doesn't seem to be for that now, as well as like we're nowhere closer to liberation. Along with the fact that it's not just the bombing of military installations, they're also bombing like civilian areas. And Trump's threatening to literally completely end civilization within Iran, threatening to bomb water desalination plants, threatening to bomb power plants, which is all civilian infrastructure, which accounts to a war crime. And then I could also just ask the question for what objectives do they meet, because the airspace and Navy control isn't really like one of the big issues that we had. Like they didn't really have much of a Navy or Air Force or anything. So the main issue was ballistic missiles and nuclear threat is what people were arguing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Can I debate that?
Yeah. But like maybe we want to focus on one of them, including first we could start with the Russia-Ukraine war. Wouldn't have happened under the Trump administration. I think it definitely would have. So what reason do you think that it wouldn't have happened?
I don't know enough about the Ukraine position to really debate that, but let's debate so I'll just for brevity's sake, like I'll cede that point to you. You can take that as you want it.
I mean, if you actually think that, I do want to like look into that. I don't want to just like concede it for a debate. Like we are kind of trying to go through like what your debates are.
The Ukraine situation, to the best of like, I'll give you all of what I know. To the best of my knowledge, like the Ukraine had a pretty corrupt and dysfunctional government prior to Trump's first administration, and the conflict with Russia is like has been ongoing for nigh 60 years, and they took this Crimea and annexed a couple of other key pieces of land that they wanted and essentially had during the USSR, but so it just seems like old blood battle grudges from 100 years ago, and I don't know enough as to whether or not like Ukraine's been a upstanding, upholding country, or or whatever since then, and I don't necessarily know who I support regarding the Ukraine war. Whether that's U.S. funding them, not funding them, whether that's the Ukrainians fighting for their independence. Because is it the Ukrainians doing that? I don't know. Is it the? It just seems really convoluted, and so I don't know enough about the situation. I haven't done my research enough to
Wait,
really
but
be
to
able to
clarify, like,
dissect
I
this.
want to clarify over the point that you made that like this wouldn't have happened if Trump were in office. What made you think that? And I guess if you don't have any reason to think
Mostly
that,
just because he says that, and it seemed like he had a pretty good relationship with Putin at the time.
but he didn't he
That
also say that he would end the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours? How did that go?
Yeah, well, it obviously didn't happen.
Okay, so just because he says something isn't a good reason to believe that that's legitimately true here.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Okay, alrighty. I guess we can move on to a different one. Which one would you prefer to talk about based on ones I responded
I think
to?
Iran's a good piece for us to debate.
Okay, so how have we met any of the objectives in the Iran war?
Absolutely.
Like, what objectives have we met?
Well, we completely eradicated like almost 90% of their missile structure. We've completely eradicated almost like 20% of their missile launch, or sorry, not 20%, like 80% of their missile launch platforms. We've completely taken out of their Navy capabilities. We've completely taken out their airspace capabilities. And in regard to a tactical approach, a strategic approach, you want to first assess the most imminent threat, which is aerial borne, seaborne, anything that can be used to extend itself out to you before you start dealing with like the most like native born threats, and that's not to say that we should put boots on the ground. I don't support us putting boots on the ground, but regarding our objectives of just making sure that Iran can't strike more targets than it's currently capable of striking. I think we've done an amazing job of doing that. And then secondly, like the mere fact that they had 60% enriched uranium while under the JCPOA, and then now they don't have that, is a pretty big deal.
That's
They
wrong.
don't have access to a nuclear capability right now. That's a huge deal. And they don't have access to ICBMs anymore, which they did 3 weeks ago.
So the 66 or 60% enriched uranium, that's not under the JCPOA. Under the JCPOA, it was below 3.7% because they had a cap that capped it out at 3.7. They actually had 3.67%.
And
So
they violated the JCPOA.
no, they
Exactly.
didn't. There's no evidence of that.
What do you
So
mean
not
there's
only is there no evidence
We-
of that, but I was also going to ask for your evidence of the 90% missile structures and 80% missile launch areas.
So again, I'm not gonna sit here and play source for source with you.
Wait. I'm sorry. You can't make a claim like that and then just have me just accept it because you said it. Like, I'm sorry. I need it. Just gonna let you know, you're in front of 6,500 people here on TikTok and 3,400 people on YouTube. That's a lot of people.
Oh,
That's nearly
nice.
10,000 people, and that's
Yeah,
a
okay.
lot of people that are going to hear that information. So we probably
Yeah.
should have good reason to believe it. It's not just like we're on some phone call, like we're right now in front of nearly 10,000 people. What's up? You cut out?
Based on reports, and yeah, like I'm using Google at this point because this is something that was like loosely referred to in some YouTube videos that I'd seen.
You're covering your microphone. It's
previously.
hard to hear you.
Oh, is this easier to hear me now?
Yeah, it's better to hear you.
Okay, cool. So previously, like I had gotten my information from a variety of different news sources and like YouTube videos that is just generally alluded to like me having this knowledge in my brain. I don't necessarily have like all of the sources written down in like a categorical like spreadsheet that I can cite very easily, but I appreciate the need for having like a swiftness with things. But that's, as a regular Joe, as just like some dude, that's not usually how I operate. So I just kind of generally understand things. It's just like the same as any one of your 6,500 viewers or 3,500 viewers that you're talking to. I'm just a regular guy. But from what I was able to look up on Google, there's over 100 sources quoting this 90% reduction in Iran's active missile launch capability.
Yeah. What's the titles? of any of them,
So
just so
we've
I
got
can look them up?
Reuters, we've got Times of Israel, we've got
What's
Facebook,
Reuters?
Wikipedia, the Washington Post.
What's the title of
NBC.
Reuters? I'll just look that one up.
Let's go to Reuters. The U.S. can only confirm about a third of Iran's missile arsenal, sources say. And this was published March last month. And apparently I'm not subscribed to Reuters, so I apologize for not being able to continue the article here. But
I'm not either, and I can still see it. But
yeah, right.
U.S. can only confirm about a third of Iran's missile arsenal destroyed, sources say.
Oh, okay. But drone attacks were down by 90%, apparently, as according to...
Pentagon officials said Iranian drone attacks were down by 90% since the start of the war.
That's good. That seems like a generally good thing.
I mean, that was about March 27th. That was about a month ago. That's different than what it would be now. Also, like, I think that they're just claiming, just in general, like, what they're doing, not actually, like, providing a source.
Well, so Pete Hegseth,
also,
and let's pull up the New York Post, because I just looked at a piece from New York Post. It was a video of Pete Hegseth talking about Iran's missiles are down 90%. And let's just pull up the same video.
But like again, one of the sources again confirmed only a third of the arsenal has been destroyed.
Well, that was Reuters specifically.
Yeah, Reuters is a great source.
Okay, sure, but we have over 100 sources talking about a 90% figure.
Okay, I mean, what other ones? I'll take a look.
Well, like I said, there's the New York Post and Pete Hegseth giving a press release conference, and his statement, his words specifically.
Okay, so what's the title of the New York Post article? That is a right-wing source, but
Iran's missiles down 90%.
Alrighty. Is it missile usage? That's because we're kind of in like they had like a ceasefire.
Give me just a second here, dude. I want to.
Wait, no, this isn't even from that. This is literally in March.
Yeah.
Their missile capabilities are not down 90%. They just said their missile volume is down 90%. And this was literally March 13th. So this was a month and a half ago. So this is like quite literally within the first few weeks of the war. I don't buy that. I think that's actually
95%.
bullshit. And also, by the way, that's what the Reuters article came out and said, that they can only account for actually 1/3.
But this article literally says their missile volume is down 90%.
Yeah, that's from original strikes. That's what the New York Post article says. That's all it says is Pete Hegseth said this.
I mean, that's a fairly trustworthy source.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
He's our Secretary of War. What, do you not think that he's credible?
No, I don't actually. I don't think the Secretary of Defense is credible. But
Why do you call him the Secretary of Defense?
Because that's what it is.
Well, no, his title has been changed.
Yeah, but I don't care.
Like, if a different political party like changed the title of a position, like I would still address them as the new title.
No, I mean he's the Secretary of Defense.
Like we had, DEI initiatives, and we had to address people then. Why can't you?
I still use the Department of Defense. I'm not going to say the Department of War.
Okay.
Well, unless you want us to say Department of War Crimes.
I mean, look, man, I'm really not trying to slander things with you. Like, I think that you're getting into the weeds regarding whether or not this particular source is valid or whether or not that particular source is valid. We have from literally Pete Hegseth saying, missile volumes down 90%. And that adhered to my initial figure that I quoted you from the beginning.
You said missile structure was down 90%.
If you want to disagree or disavow the source, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
but let's move on to the next point.
Let's operate as if that's true. Okay?
Cool.
This isn't the main objectives that we had. The main objectives that we had was
to change each other's mind.
No. Was that their ballistic missile capabilities? Because their argument was they're going to be able to maintain their nuclear development, right? If they have the ballistic missile capabilities.
Yeah, missile volume and missile capabilities and enriched uranium all serve a tactical and strategic purpose.
Yeah, but you understand that they're different things. Just because they're shooting a
Of
different level
course.
of missiles doesn't mean they don't have the capabilities of having ballistic missiles, which is the thing that they wanted to limit them from having, is the capability to have ballistic
Yeah.
missiles.
Yeah, so if you wanted to have the capability of, launching a missile, you could have a nuclear missile, but if you didn't have a means of defending it or a means of launching it, then it would mean nothing.
Yeah, but like that's
And
a short-term thing. It's not long-term. They can just build that back.
yeah, but they also can't really build back enriched uranium,
That's different though. Enriched uranium is
which
different
is
than
one of the reasons
the
why we
missile
struck one of
launch areas and structures.
their uranium enriching sites.
Yeah, but you understand that they wouldn't have enriched uranium to that degree if we never pulled out of the JCPOA originally.
We pulled out of the JCOA, to the best of my knowledge, and I could very well be wrong on this, because they were enriching the uranium anyways.
Wrong.
And
It was
they came out and told us this.
no. It's not because of that. It's because Trump didn't like the fact that they were able to build up money that he says that they were using to fund terror operations around the world. Because we got rid of the sanctions on them. But the agreement that Trump was willing to agree to in terms of the ceasefire.
And the Houthis and
Yeah, but the agreement that Trump was
people in the South Africa.
but the agreement that Trump was willing to accept in terms of the 10-point plan here recently included that we would give up all the sanctions on Iran. So it's like we're giving up
Well, he
all of
never
these things
agreed to
without
that.
getting rid of their enriched uranium. Well, he did actually.
Where do
He
you
said
see that he agreed to this?
that was after him. Remember, he said he was going to end civilization for Iran.
No, he never said he was going to end civilization for Iran. He said,
Yes, he did.
either a civilization
He said
will
a
be ended
civilization will
tonight."
die tonight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not him saying he's going to end a civilization.
Yeah, it is.
That's him just being. That's just him being a goofy goober on Twitter, man.
It's him
Like,
threatening to end an entire civilization. I don't know how you just write that off as saying he's a goofy goober. This isn't SpongeBob.
it's Trump speak, man. Like, you got to recognize
Yeah,
that some
and
things
so
that he
then you're
says
saying
are,
so then what
are
you're saying
full-
is that it's not effective for him
full
to
of it.
even say that in the first place because no one will even take it seriously.
Well, I mean, it seems like Iran took it pretty seriously.
Okay, well, it doesn't because we don't even actually have an agreement with them. We didn't get any of our objectives met, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, but we have the Strait of Hormuz.
He did
and they don't have a
engage in the
military to
threat
back it
though,
up.
and like the fact that you try to move the goalpost and act like that's not a big deal,
It's
that
not-
he
it's
literally
not me
threatened
moving
to
the
end an
goalpost. I'm
entire
staying remained on
civilization
my
of people.
position.
Like, dude, that threat is cartoonishly evil, my guy. You don't
It's
just
not
threaten to
cartoonishly
end
evil.
civilization, okay? You don't just do that. He's president of the United States. He's not a fucking
exactly.
goofy goober. He's not SpongeBob or Patrick. This isn't a TV show. This is the literal world stage. This is an entire
you're
civilization
blowing
of
this way
people,
out of proportion,
92
man.
million people.
You're blowing it way out of proportion.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
regarding his
You're blowing
specific
it way
tweet,
under
like,
proportion.
No. So, okay, yeah, I don't disregard the fact that you shouldn't be so casual with your tweets as a president. You and I can both agree in the fact that he probably should take his tweets and his statements a little bit or a lot of bit more seriously. You and I see eye to eye in that. That's fine. It's not just him being a goofy goober. Of course, I concede that to you. But my point is that the way that he talks serves a purpose of him saying either a civilization's going to end tonight or Iran's going to agree to things, puts pressure on them with the sole intention and purpose of them paying attention to the 10-point bill and him getting hostages out of territory that they're currently under. When he released that statement, we were also doing a mission to save 2 pilots. So it's like, okay, well, it might be important for us to put pressure on them politically as a means of like virtual distraction. We operate in a world where like there's not just like air and land and sea anymore. There's the digital space too. And there's the people's voice space too. So all of these things matter.
If you're saying it's a distraction, well, then what you're not understanding is that it's still not something that allowed for us to meet any of these objectives. So again, the whole
Well,
threat
you asked
of
me what
literally
the
wanting to
objectives
take
were,
out
and I told you what
the
they
whole
were.
threat of wanting to take out an entire civilization is not something that you should ever threaten from the position of presidency. It is ridiculous that we even have to argue that you shouldn't do this. You can distract people without specifically utilizing the threats against the literal murder of an entire civilian population.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But he did it, and you and I both disagree with the fact that he said it. Okay, that sucks. He did it. Yeah. Like, what do you want me to say? You and I both disagree with the fact that he said that.
What I want you to say, I want you to say like these are things are not presidential. What do I
Yeah.
want you to say? I
Yeah,
want you
that
to
was not
acknowledge
presidential for him to do that. I don't disagree with you.
what I
on
want
that.
you to acknowledge is the level of issue that this is. It's not just something to look past and be like, oh, I still support him no matter what. It's something to look at and be like, yeah, maybe I
I've
shouldn't
never
have supported this
any
guy in the first
president,
place.
no matter what.
Maybe
Trump
I
is
shouldn't have
literally
voted
the
for
only
him.
president I've ever voted for.
But my argument's that you made the wrong decision, that you shouldn't have voted for him.
Yeah, I'd still like to be convinced why.
Yeah, I gave countless examples. I can give countless more. You're right. He's made the conditions worse off in terms of foreign policy, destroyed our relationships with countries all around the world. He's pardoned
You and I
violent
have
rioters who
disagreed
beat
about
police
foreign
officers and
policy.
called them
We've
patriots. He
disagreed about
incited a violent
economic
insurrection at the
stability.
Capitol. He's made the economy worse off in every single metric since he's got in office. Right? He's been held civilly liable of sexually abusing women. He bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're
Okay,
changing
let's
without
talk about
consent.
that for a second. Let's talk about the civil abuse and sexual abuse of women
Okay.
that you pose he does, because this is essentially a character argument, and this is what, like, needless to say, the left is very good at doing, is painting Republicans and right wing people under character arguments, but without talking about things from a moral position. Has he been convicted of any sexual abuses whatsoever at all, period?
He was held liable unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people for forcefully penetrating
that's
E. Jean
not
Carroll's
being
vagina
convicted.
against her will.
That's not being convicted.
So, has he been convicted in a criminal court? No. The reason why he wasn't convicted in a criminal court is because of statute of limitations, which prevents people who have been assaulted from holding their abusers accountable in the context of a criminal court, regardless of the amount of evidence provided.
Yeah, I do know what a statute of limitations is, but your point is that he's been held liable, he's been accused, he's been alleged that he's a sexual offender, and he's never been convicted of it. Not once. And the people that could convict him or have a case compelling enough to convict him of such a thing have all come out and said that he never did it.
That's so dishonest. There's been 27
It's
plus
not
people.
dishonest. That's the facts.
There's been 27 plus women that have accused him of sexual misconduct. He's been held liable for sexual abuse in a civil court, unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury. It's not just an accusation, by the way. And also, you think every single one of the 27 women are lying. That's what you have to think.
It's not necessarily that I think they're all lying. It's
You
just
do.
that
If you don't think that they're all lying, then you think that he's guilty.
Or an indictment, the evidence hasn't been presented enough to the degree where a jury has convicted him of
Wrong. A jury did
actually
hold him
being
liable.
a sexual offender.
Wait, why are you just ignoring that a jury held him liable of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will?
Because that jury was under a civil case.
So you still accept the determinations from civil cases, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if you accept the determinations from civil cases, why are you dismissing this?
Because it got pushed through to a larger case, and the evidence was unsubstantial to proving whether or not he was able to be convicted.
It proved it
of
in a civil court so that he was
allegation.
held legally responsible of it by a jury. An entire jury determined that it was enough.
Preceded by further investigation of the alleged evidence.
No, he was
which
held
all
liable.
proved wrong.
It was not proven wrong. What piece of evidence in the case you dispute?
No, that's not the position that this needs to be under. Like,
I want an answer to that question. What piece of evidence in the case you dispute?
The evidence that his lawyers presented was sufficient to prove that he was not a sexual offender. I know the
Wrong.
result of the
He was
case.
liable of sexual abuse. Why are you
He
lying?
was liable of it, sure, but he wasn't ever convicted of anything.
Oh my God. We've already responded to this multiple times. A jury determined that he did this in a civil court. Just because he wasn't convicted in a criminal court doesn't mean that this isn't applicable. You already said you accept the determinations from civil courts. If you accept the determinations from civil courts, then you accept the determination in a civil court against Donald Trump.
Well, okay, I might accept a determination, but I don't necessarily agree that the determination is uh, superseding the determinations held by other courts or by courts that are more in line regarding the specific allegation. This is why each allegation, each indictment has a particular court case that it goes under scrutiny for.
I don't know what courts you're referencing. We're talking about in a civil court. What other courts are you referencing?
Well, yeah, i.e., in a civil court or in a criminal court or in a criminal case, each case has its own case that gets investigated or arbitrated, like
Yeah, what the fuck are you saying? Okay?
arbitrated. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're even talking about. This is irrelevant to the point. He was held liable in a civil court. The civil court determined this. There's no extra court to go to. They appealed it in the civil court. They lost. Trump lost. E. Jean Carroll won the case. E. Jean Carroll proved that Donald Trump sexually abused her. Okay?
Wait. What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, if you look at the case, E. Jean Carroll proved that Donald Trump sexually abused her in the civil case. And then also
this
won
is new
the appeal.
information to me. So I'm just trying to be good faith and good, like honestly, trying to hear you out.
Have you looked into this case?
So yeah, are you talking about the? Is this the girl with the dress from like 30 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you laughing?
Okay, so if I remember correctly, the test reportedly found traces of unidentified male DNA.
Yes. And Trump had multiple years to give up his DNA, and he chose not to within the time slot allotted, which is exactly what we'd expect from someone who's guilty. What we'd expect from someone who's innocent is that they would give up their DNA to prove that they weren't at the scene of the crime because Trump claimed he never met her in the very first place. And then if he never met her, he couldn't have been within close proximity enough to her for a long enough time to even show up on her dress in the first place.
No. So that's the thing is that her claim was that at the time that she was assaulted by him, that she saved the dress because, again, and a lot of these details are fuzzy because it's been so long. It's been like 2 years since this was in the news. So I apologize if this is off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, it was like she saved the dress for 27 years, and then they supposedly pulled a sample off of her dress that they were trying to compare to his DNA. And his lawyers were like, that's not even necessary because the match from that wouldn't even be liable. And so it never actually even went into...
That's not what his lawyers said. So, again, in this context, they chose to not give up the DNA because Trump refused to give up his DNA.
Yeah, because there was
they
no
asked
good
him
cause.
for consent
There's
to give
no,
up his
like,
DNA.
persuasive justification to give up.
Why wouldn't
his
he do that? Wait,
DNA.
why wouldn't he do that?
Why would you incriminate yourself in a court of law?
Exactly. Why would you incriminate yourself? Boom. You got it.
You don't need
right
to.
on the money. Right on the money. Why would you incriminate
No,
yourself?
so this
In
is
order
like
to be
saying,
able
like-
to incriminate yourself, you have to have done something incriminating.
Okay, I respect that. So hang on for a second. In order to litigate whether or not somebody has or hasn't done something, right, you also have the right to remain silent, right? And so that's essentially what he's saying is, why would you, when I say incriminate yourself, I'm referencing you have the right to remain silent, whether or not he's incriminating himself or actually did the criminal act.
Yeah, but we know in plenty of instances in which
So,
people
I'm not
utilize the Fifth
necessarily
Amendment
saying
that we know what it's going to mean if they use the Fifth Amendment.
Dude, this is not a gotcha, man. If you're actually
It is.
genuinely trying to influence me and pull me over to your side, using this as a gotcha is just going to push me farther away from you.
Well, if facts and
Like, do you
evidence and
understand that?
logic, if facts, evidence, and logic push you away, that's your fault,
No,
not mine.
it's not that facts, evidence, and logic push me away from you. It's that the facts and logic proved that his team didn't need to provide the sample for the purpose of it. It was like, in order to pursue the full report aggressively, they would have needed to do that 27 years ago.
So then here's my question. If he wasn't at the scene of the crime, if you know that as a lawyer, why wouldn't you give up the DNA?
Because even if it was tested, the evidence would be considered inconclusive.
Wait, no, it wouldn't. It would conclude that he wasn't at the scene of the crime.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be. And also, this is.
And wouldn't that serve as
like,
evidence that you guys could have used in the case to show that there was more doubt?
Of this dress also concluded that no sperm was found in the first place.
Yeah, it was unidentified male DNA. This proves that he was within close proximity with her because not everyone that she was around showed up on that dress.
No, it just proves that
only
somebody who was a man was in close proximity of her 27 years ago.
Yes.
So she had a dress that some man touched 27 years ago, and she's claiming that it was Trump's, and
Yeah,
like,
so then if she's claiming it's
anybody.
Trump's, why doesn't Trump give up his DNA to prove that it's not his? If it is not his, why doesn't he give up his DNA?
Because that'd be like going to a Starbucks and the cashier touches your shirt and you save that shirt for 30 years until the cashier gets famous, and then for some reason the cashier is famous, and you're like, all right, I want to sue you because you touched me, and so I'm going to allege that you sexually assaulted me. And does the cashier have to prove that? No. They don't have to prove that at all. Because without good cause or persuasive justification for the result of the test to be enforced, there's zero reason for that to be a necessary protocol for you to go through. I.e., the evidence might be inconclusive.
Brian, can I give you a better analogy? Let's say that you're driving on the road, completely sober. Cop pulls you over, thinks you're drunk. How's he do a test where you do all like the little things to prove that you're not drunk, and you fail it? Yeah, the sobriety test. You fail it, and they think you're drunk. They're going to charge you, right, and give you this payment you have to pay. You have to go to all these courses, right, and it's going to harm your reputation. You might lose your job because of it. Right, if you do go through with it, right, like if you don't go through with the breathalyzer, but you have the chance to do a breathalyzer to prove your innocence, to prove that you're totally sober. Do you do the breathalyzer or do you take the charge if you are innocent?
Well, that's a quite poignant analogy. I mean, I think that if you could just avoid the altercation altogether, then I don't think that taking a breathalyzer or doing the sobriety test would be necessary. So you're saying that if he was forced to submit DNA or what?
I'm giving you a certain scenario where you already have driven. You're already sober. In this scenario, what will you do? Will you take the breathalyzer because you know you're sober and you'll pass it? Or will you take the charge because you're a hard-headed idiot?
Man. That's not a good analogy for the scenario.
It's a perfect analogy.
It's not applicable. No, it's not.
Can you respond to the question?
Oh, well, yeah. Obviously, you'd take the breathalyzer.
Obviously.
Prove that, yeah.
So if Trump knows that he's going to be held liable if he doesn't give up his DNA, and he can prove that he wasn't the scene of the crime by giving up his DNA, he would give up his DNA if he was innocent. The reason why he didn't give up his DNA is because he thinks it will incriminate him and show that he was the scene of the crime, and that his whole story that they quote-unquote never met, and that he wasn't within close proximity to her, is totally bullshit.
Those are a lot of assumptions that you're making, and that was not the result of the case. The result of the case was that he did not need to provide that evidence, as her claim was unsubstantial, and that the evidence that could be provided would be inconclusive in the first place. A match or a non-match wouldn't definitively prove or disprove the allegations at hand. It might only suggest contact, if anything useful. And that's exactly what the judge noted, if I remember correctly, that the alleged assault could have occurred without sufficient quantity or quality of Trump's you know,
Yes, but
DNA.
it serves as evidence against the fact that he was there, right? That you could use from the Trump administration side, right, to show like,
So
oh,
it
I'm
wouldn't have mattered
innocent
either way,
because
is what the judge says.
Trump could claim, oh, I'm innocent. I proved that my DNA was not on that dress after she claimed that my DNA
There
was
wasn't
on that dress. So right
there wasn't
there,
enough
can you just be
of
quiet and listen for a second, please? Okay. So
gladly.
yeah, so in that scenario, I think that would have clearly demonstrated that he wasn't at the scene of the crime. You would say, oh, okay, well, I think it wouldn't have proved everything that we would have wanted it to. Sure. What you're not understanding though, is it gives you more evidence and more doubt in the case, which obviously would have been relevant to the jury's determination on the matter. So why would you leave something like that out if you know that you're innocent in the scenario? Because then you put yourself at risk of losing tens of millions of dollars and it negatively impacting your reputation running into the election.
Yeah, I'll give you two reasons. One, it's a character argument that you're discussing whether or not, the morally right choice was what he made, okay, versus this is the second argument. It takes money, time, effort, resources, lawyers, all of that to provide, present, produce the evidence and the write-ups and the discussions and the time and the courts to go through the process of presenting that. When the judge himself says it wouldn't have even mattered anyways, he's just going to listen to the judge and say, okay, cool. It doesn't matter. So that's where we're going to stand.
So is this a response to what I said or no?
That was the response. Yes. The first aspect of what you discussed was a character argument, and that's nullified by the results of the court case.
No, it's not. The court case determined that Trump sexually abused Eugene Carroll.
He didn't verify or clarify. If anything, it absolved him.
What did the judge say? The judge said that Donald Trump in fact raped Eugene Carroll. You cited what the judge said there as evidence or reason to believe something. The judge did say that Donald Trump in fact raped Eugene Carroll.
Which judge?
The judge that oversaw the case.
Oversaw which case?
The Eugene Carroll case. This is in the appeal.
So you're saying that the judge who regarded the alleged assault as could have occurred with sufficient quantity or quality to have remained on the dress claims that Donald Trump raped Eugene Carroll.
Yeah, Judge Kaplan said that Eugene Carroll was raped by Donald Trump. Right, the dress and happened to not be a part of that determination because Trump didn't give up his DNA. But I say it to be even more evidence to prove on top of the determination that the court made that this is also evidence that he was likely
guilty.
Guilty.
Name of the judge? I'm trying to look up their specific statement.
Yeah, look up. Judge says Eugene Carroll was raped.
Yeah, I'm typing that in, and it's just giving me a bunch of stuff. So I'm trying to find out the specific name of the judge.
You can find it from Washington Post. Judge clarifies, yes, Trump was found to have raped Eugene Carroll.
Yeah, this is Aaron Blake saying, this was a rape claim. This was a rape case all along, and the jury made other findings. His lawyer, Joe Coppina, said outside the courthouse. The judge has now clarified that this is basically a legal distinction without a real-world difference. He says that what the jury found Trump did was, in fact, rape, as commonly understood. The filing from Judge Lewis Kaplan came as Trump's attorneys have sought a new trial and have argued that the jury's $5 million verdict against Trump in the civil suit was excessive. The reason they argue is that sexual abuse could be as limited as the groping of a victim's breasts. Kaplan roundedly rejected Trump's motion Tuesday, calling that argument entirely unpersuasive. The finding that Ms. Carroll failed to prove that she was raped within the meaning of the New York Penal Law Code does not mean that she failed to prove that Mr. Trump raped her, as many people commonly understand the word rape, Kaplan wrote. He added, indeed, as the evidence at trial recounted below makes clear, the jury found that Mr. Trump, in fact, did exactly that, referring to his previous statement of she failed to prove that Mr. Trump raped her.
That's not what that says. You added
Okay,
that.
he added is in reference to his previous statement. So, okay. Kaplan said that New York's legal definition of rape is far narrower than the word is understood in common modern parlance.
Yeah, so he's saying it's commonly understood to be rape, and that the legal definition didn't determine it to be rape because the legal definition is not grasping how we colloquially understand the term, which now, by the way, the definition of rape under New York penal law has changed.
Yeah, it includes groping.
No,
Of the breasts.
no, this is forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against her will. This is not groping.
Trump was not accused.
They're claiming sexual abuse. Dude, your reading comprehension is dog shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That is really bad.
Man.
I mean, I'm trying not to be rude there, but holy shit, dude. They were saying that the sexual abuse can include groping, right? But rape doesn't. But he was saying that this is a colloquial understanding of rape because forceful penetration of her vagina against her will is rape as colloquially understood. But the definition of sexual abuse under New York penal law does apply to things like groping and to things like forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against her will. And that's why they had to change the definition under the context of New York penal law.
So in this article, it further states that Trump was not accused of that. So the only alleged offense that would have qualified as sexual abuse was forced digital penetration.
Yeah, which means without a male member.
So okay, so then
is
if
that
I
not
continue
rape?
reading, it says,
Is that not rape?
If I continue reading, it says the jury's finding of sexual abuse therefore necessarily implies that it found that Mr. Trump forcibly penetrated her vagina. Kaplan wrote, calling it the only remaining conclusion. Interesting. Yeah, I did not know this, and I'm willing to cede this point to you. Yeah, I think that's gross and disgusting, and that anybody who rapes a woman should be held accountable for it. I think that if this is actually the case, if this is what the evidence provides and this is what the scenario presents, then he should be tried and persecuted as according to the law.
So would you say you don't support him anymore for president? Like you wouldn't have voted for him if you had this information?
I don't support the fact that he raped somebody.
Okay,
absolutely
but
not.
You'd still be willing to vote for him over Harris.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even though you think he's raped a woman, you'd still vote for him over Harris.
I mean, that does put a thumb in things for sure. Granted, I don't like that Harris has been doing a lot worse stuff. It's like in today's political climate, we're talking about like one evil person or another evil person, and so it's like I don't necessarily have a good character.
What has Harris done? What has Harris done that's comparable to rape?
I don't want to talk about Harris, man. We're good.
No. Seriously, what has Harris done that's comparable to rape?
I'm not going to make claims that are unfounded and that I don't have enough information to present.
Okay, so then why did you make that original claim then? Right? So then the point that I'm making then is that if you can't determine that she's done anything that you could even compare to rape, then how could you say that you'd still vote for him over her? So blatantly.
Well, it's the difference of like, I'm a regular Joe. You clearly have the
you don't
information
need to be a professional debater to be able to understand this point. This is a point any basic person could understand.
No, but you're used to this atmosphere of having 10,000 people watching you all the time, and I'm not. And I'm just not prepared to make a statement about something and have to argue it without, looking it up and understanding it to its fullest extent.
Then why did you originally argue it in the first place? That's what I'm not understanding is why did you originally make the point in the first place then?
The point of what?
The point where you said that she's done horrible bad things that are comparable to what Donald Trump's done.
Because
and that's why you specifically are going to still vote for
understanding.
Donald Trump even though you believe he's a rapist.
Yeah, it's to the best of my understanding, and I don't necessarily have to vocalize that on a live with 10,000 people, bro.
Yeah, but you have to have a really good reason to say that you're going to vote for the rapist over Kamala Harris. Because right now it seems fucking obscene and insane to vote for someone who's a rapist, who you believe to be a rapist, based upon things that you can't even tell me on the stream.
It's also the Washington Post, and I don't necessarily know if this is fully founded. I want to do more research.
Oh my god! Wait, you can click on other articles; they all report on this. It's not just the Washington Post.
Yeah, sure.
That's
I
what the
need to do
judge
more
said,
research on
though.
this.
Wait, that's
We
not
spent
what
like
just Washington, the
45
Washington
minutes
Post
talking
reported
about
on
the
that.
E. Jean Carroll case, and
You wanted to talk about it.
convinced me about it, but it's not enough to sway me on whether or not he's a good president.
Yeah, like that's insane to me. Like you'd still think that a rapist is a good president. Like that's absurd. That's obscene. That's a rapist.
Well,
You believe he's a rapist. I think if someone is determined to be a
think
rapist,
for a
it should be
second, dude,
illegal
that
for them to run
Hillary
for president.
Clinton
If someone's
was
held
in the
civilly
running to be
liable,
a president.
if someone's held civilly liable of sexually abusing someone or criminally convicted of sexually abusing someone, it should be illegal for them to run for president of the United States. Why can't you say the same thing?
Held civilly liable or proven guilty in a court of law. I don't know. He was never proven guilty for this crime. He just had some judges say some
He was
things
held
about
liable,
him.
and a judge did say that he sexually abused E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah, a judge said those things. I don't know if those allegations are considered true and founded.
They are. That's what the case determined.
Okay. Cool. Like, I don't know if that's true, man. I really don't. I'm willing to
If you want to
take
go
your
do
word
more
for it
research into
for
the case,
sake
you
of this
can, but I'm right.
conversation, but like, you know, I do need to go do more research and understand this more thoroughly. And I think that's the best place that we can leave this topic of conversation. If you want to talk about other topics, then sure. But I mean, I definitely don't want to talk about Harris.
Okay. Well then, alrighty. Well then, if you have any, I think I'm just gonna say this. You should go look into that. And let me know if you change your mind on that. But yeah, I think I'm done with our conversation for today.
Yeah, Parker, thank you. You've been wonderful. You've been delightful to debate with, and I've really appreciated your time and your discussion. I think you've been nothing but professional and a fantastic intellectual person. So thank you for challenging me. I'm glad that I was able to cede some points to you and understand some things. I'm glad that you were able to listen to my positions, and I hope that you were able to get some perspective from what other people are thinking.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you coming up.
Take care.
Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's try to get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. I got some people to thank, but let's get this next person up here first. Karen, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, literally, though. It is definitely something to take into consideration. As well as Doria, thank you so much for the appreciate $5. Thank you very much. Chef with the $2. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
It's very close, but Trump.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
2008.
And what state do you live in?
Florida.
What time is it?
4:16.
Okay. And can you name two states that border Florida?
I have an accent, but I grew up in Ireland, but I live in Florida now.
Yeah. Just curious. Can you name two states that border Florida?
Good question. Not Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina, or South Carolina. I live in Florida, man. I have an accent, but like, you can racially.
That's not racial profiling, bro. You have an Irish accent. Practically every person with an Irish accent that comes up in my life is lying. You are lying. You think that North Carolina and South Carolina are bordered to Florida? Bro, come on. That's not racially profiling. That's so crazy to say racially profiling. That's such a nuts thing to say. After, by the way, he supports the Trump administration racially profiling ICE, by the way. I bet. He was about to argue for the Trump administration, so. You know, it's how old are you? Like, the Trump administration, like, literally detains people for having an accent. Unless it's European, by the way. Yo, it's how old are you? How old are you? Amber, yes, you can, but the fact of the matter is that most people that come on with European accents on my live stream are trolling. So I am going to check that because like 99% of people who come up on the stream are trolling with an European accent. But it's specifically just European accents. I don't do that to any other accents. Because I actually find that's not true as well for other accents.
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
how old are you?
Yes.
How
Is
old
it
are you?
ready to send? Okay. I'm just updating the.
Okay, well, they don't know we're here. Let's go on to the next person. G Hoops, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $50. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate some W's for them in the comment section right now. I've actually been on their podcast. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the dad's ever going to come around. I think the dad is definitely way too far gone. I mean, he's now arguing that the Pope should go to hell, even though he's Catholic. He also argued to me that like he didn't use the Bible, like there's no Catholic. When by the way, there's a Catholic Bible. There's like a specific Bible for Catholics because they have a certain amount of books that Protestants don't have. So yeah, we're gonna go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
I'd rather vote for Trump, honestly.
You'd rather vote for Trump? Why so?
I just like what he's doing with like Israel and stuff. I think that's really good for America.
So you like that he's going to war on behalf of the state of Israel?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I like it because I think the Hamas needs to get destroyed and stuff, and you know.
Are you trolling?
And like, yeah, Heil Hitler and fuck Ike.
You're disgusting. So they're literally just an anti-Semitic person, bro. That's so crazy. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. What's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Welcome back. Are you Christian, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
I am.
How do you feel about Trump depicting himself as God?
I mean, on the surface level of it, I think obviously it's not. Yeah, it's like the worst sin possibly you could commit, but
It's literally unforgivable. So if it's a red line for God, why isn't it a red line for you?
because I mean, my other decisions outweigh that picture. I mean, if you're
Outweigh the
asking why,
unforgivable sin?
no. Well, if you ask me why, like why I voted for him, 2 years ago, obviously that wasn't taken into account.
Okay, but like I'm saying now, like if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, would you choose not to vote?
And that picture came out.
Yeah, like you are like if the election were held today, you already have the
Yeah.
same information you have right now. If you were about to vote right now, would you choose to not vote, vote for Trump, or vote for Harris?
Okay, so you're asking me to vote for someone who posted that picture or someone who didn't, like majority of the country didn't know like her policies. She made 2 appearances publicly, had 180 days to run, and you're asking me to vote for that person. Which, by the way, knowing that for all I know, under that premise, she could have, wanted to sabotage this whole country. But again, we wouldn't have known because she didn't have that much time to run. No
I
one's
can
gonna do their
name
own.
to you more than 2 interviews, by the way.
That's
You're just
completely
lying.
fine, but I'm not talking about the majority of. Wait, what?
I can name to you more than 2 interviews that she engaged in.
I'm not talking about interviews. I was talking about the 2 debates she did.
There was only 1 debate,
Oh, okay.
and that's because Trump wouldn't do another one.
Fair enough. Maybe because she thought she was too, incoherent to have to waste his time to do another one.
No,
But,
she wanted to do another one. He didn't.
Well, that doesn't prove my
Trump
point.
is the one
My
that
point-
dodged the second debate. What are you talking about?
My point being is that majority of the country didn't know what she was running on.
Okay, so that's the fault of people not looking that up rather than her
Yeah,
actually
sure.
communicating it,
Fine.
because she actually did communicating it. Plus, that's still not a response to the point that I mentioned. I asked you if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, with the information you have right now, who would you rather vote for?
Yeah, well, I said I would vote for the candidate that I know more about. I'd rather vote for someone that I know what they're
So you'd vote for the blasphemous guy over the non-blasphemous person?
It's hard to put it like that, but can we maybe angle away from that and actually have a
Nope.
debate?
We are debating
Because
right now.
last time you kicked me out, and I was pretty
We are
low.
debating right now, and you're not responding.
Okay.
So is this a red
Well-
line that you draw because it's a red line that God draws?
Yeah, but okay, but I think it depends how you perceive it. Like for me, like, you know, I could have perceived him as an archbishop or whatever the case may be. Although I don't think it's right. I don't think he was depicting himself as Jesus Christ. So in that case, I'd say yes.
Oliver, you just sent that message, and it tells me you're from Ireland on PayPal. I just want to let you know. Or Oliver, sorry. Like Oliver literally just said, "I'm the person who had an Irish accent. And I found it deeply concerning that you didn't, you doubted my American citizenship when you were wrong with 2 different states that you were on. And by the way, it literally says you're from Ireland on your PayPal. Okay, I hope you know that."
It's pretty funny. I think it's funny how another guy came up here and you literally scammed him in front of all of us. What was that about?
He owes me $100. So can you engage with my point? So who are you gonna vote for in that context?
I answered it, but you were too distracted with that guy's donation, I guess. I said I think he depicted himself maybe as an archbishop, or you know. So and in that sense, I would vote for him because I don't think he was depicting himself as Jesus Christ.
So you would vote for Trump because you don't think it was Jesus Christ that he was depicting himself as.
Correct.
So who was he depicting himself as?
I don't know. I'd say like an archbishop, possibly.
Okay, so his specific clothing was actually the historically depicted clothing that Jesus wore.
Sure, but as well as archbishops.
No, archbishops did no.
Archbishops wear that type of clothing.
And do archbishops have glowing hands healing people?
They heal people, so I mean,
with glowing hands.
If you're going to depict someone healing someone, yeah, you put like a glowing, like, yeah, it's like a magical.
Do bishops wear a hat?
Some bishops do.
Do all bishops wear a hat?
No.
Yes,
Jesus
they do.
didn't wear a hat all the time.
So Jesus did.
Not all archbishops. Parker, come on. I mean, not all archbishops wear hats, bro.
Wait, so when you look up bishop clothing,
Yeah,
what does it
sure,
look like?
But that doesn't mean like in every single denomination they wear.
Yeah, like if you look up Catholic, by the way, he's not even Catholic. I just want to clarify as well.
Sure, I never said you was.
If you look up the clothing for it, it does not look like what Trump's wearing.
Okay, well,
look it up. I'm serious. It looks nothing like what Trump was wearing. It looks distinctly different. It looks exactly like what the by the way, so your whole dispute for this, for why you still support Trump, is that you think it's not blasphemy.
I just okay. Well, so as your question is, would I vote for? Is your question is, do I still support him now, or would I vote for him over Kamala? It's 2 different conversations.
I'm asking, would you still vote for him over Harris if the election were held today?
I would. Yes, I would.
Okay, so even though he's engaged in blasphemy,
I don't fully support him now. I think it's very hard for anyone to fully stand by him now, but I would definitely still vote for him over Kamala.
Even though he's engaged in blasphemy.
Yeah, I think because of what I know, what majority of the country knew of.
Is there anything he could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
Yes, of course. I mean, yeah.
Give me an example.
You see, now now the question is angling in support. Yeah, I don't think I fully support him now just because of his claims on what was it on?
Sorry, when I say this, is there anything that he could do that would get you to stop or not vote for him in that context?
I mean, I think this is difficult. My point is very clear. I mean, yes, obviously there's things we could do. But my point is very clear. And again, I want to angle away from this. I want to angle away from this. Reason being is because I think it's hard for anyone to wiggle their way out of this. I don't fully support him now, but would I vote for him over Kamala? Yes. For the betterment of the country.
Okay. I'm just going to go to the next person. I think it's too difficult to get an answer out of you that's direct to my question. So I'm not going to care to engage in that conversation any further. Yo, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Fuck with him heavy, nigga. I hate Hitler.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Nigger!
You're disgusting. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen.
Yo.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19, by the way. Anyway,
All right, you know what? I'm just going to get off. Everyone. I don't think I have any guest requests right now. Dean hopped on, so kind of like all the guest requests kind of went to him, to be honest. So I'm just going to get off right now. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I appreciate everyone. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Yeah, I'll just see everyone later. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you very much. Well, thank you. Alrighty. I'll see everyone tomorrow.